Hi everyone, meteorologist Josh Ruger here in studio, working solo right now. Dan Scoff is obviously on standby, so he may come in later this morning to help me with coverage. But right now we do have severe thunderstorms that are knocking on the doorstep of the River Valley. Northwest Arkansas has seen quite a bit of heavy rain. It's been very loud. There has been some flash flooding, especially in southwest Missouri. But in the River Valley, that's where the most concerning thunderstorms are currently located. And those areas need to stay on high alert within the next 3 to 4 hours, as these storms could produce quick spin-ups at any time. We've already seen that out in central Oklahoma, southeast of Oklahoma City. We've seen significant damage in wind gusts associated with these thunderstorms. So a lot of things that we're watching very closely. Of course, technology, not really my friend this morning, so bear with me. We're not able to look at a whole lot of radar on our WSI system because for some reason the sweeping radar is down. So we're going to be using a lot of Mega Doppler, and we're going to be using a lot of what we call 5-layer radar in order to figure out what's going on with these storms. But let's go ahead and get right to the latest details. Let's kick things off with a look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. Again, the most concerning thunderstorm right now is knocking on the doorstep of LaFleur County. In fact, if you're just off to the west of Worcester and Heavener, you're about to experience some very strong winds as this severe thunderstorm rolls in. You'll notice this kind of orange hue around this severe thunderstorm warning outline. That means that we've got a considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It's for 70 miles per hour winds, and this storm is racing off to the east at about 55 miles per hour. There is also a tornado possible tag associated with the storm, folks, so we got to watch this very closely as it moves into LaFleur County. If we look at that rotation right now, I haven't seen anything too concerning recently, but that can obviously change. There is a little area of rotation right here just off to the south and east of LaFleur that we've got to watch very closely. And remember, guys, these storms can drop tornadoes very quickly in this setup, right? We're not talking about a storm that gives you those hints well in advance. It is going to take a very small area, a small surge within that line for it to produce tornado potential. So we have to watch that as it's moving through LaFleur County right now. Again, that's the most concerning thunderstorm. There are other thunderstorms that are moving into northwest Arkansas. There's a little line right there that's pushing into Delaware County as well as northern Adair County. That has some gusty winds associated with it. Nothing too concerning in terms of rotation in northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas right now. I'm going a little bit farther down the line here so you can see some more of it. Again, this part of the line right here is much weaker compared to what's about to go down south of Interstate 40. So if you live along the I-40 corridor and for areas farther south and west, that's where we're going to be watching the closest for significant severe weather. Again, I know a lot of folks are probably wondering about what's going on in northwest Arkansas, right? And rightfully so. You want to know if these storms are severe. Obviously, they've produced a lot of lightning. It's very loud in those locations, but is it anything concerning right now? Not really when it comes to severe weather, at least for northwest Arkansas. But again, the River Valley right now in LaFleur County, that's where you need to be on high alert. I know we got a lot of folks that live in LaFleur County. Just make sure you're staying weather aware as that line continues to race off to the east at 55 miles per hour. If I drive a little bit farther to the north, we've got several flash flood warnings in effect. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. I'll pull that up on our WSI system so we can go through each individual flash flood warning. Obviously, that's a big concern in northwest Arkansas right now. Here's a look at that flash flood warning in Berry McDonald County. That goes until 8 a.m. We do have a smaller, considerable flash flood warning that's in effect for portions of Berry County near Cassville and the Chino Lakes area. that will also go until 8 a.m., right? So that's where the most significant flooding has occurred. The good news is a lot of the heaviest rainfall is going to be moving out of Berry McDonald County very soon. So I'm not expecting additional widespread flash flooding, but again, flooding is likely already occurring in these locations. So you got to make sure you're staying weather aware there. We've also got a flash flood warning in northern Delaware County along Highway 59. That goes until 6 a.m. That does include Grove, Oklahoma. So just make sure you're aware of that there. A little bit farther to the south and west, we've got that flash flood warning in effect. This is the newest one. That's for southern Delaware and northern Adair counties. That goes until 7:45 a.m. So that's the newest flash flood warning that we have to report. And then for northwest Arkansas, again, along I-49, very heavy rainfall occurring right now. I know a lot of folks are wondering. Again, I see a lot of comments about Washington County, Benton County, Madison, Newton counties. These storms are below severe limits as of right now. It's producing very heavy rain. It's producing lightning. Obviously, we've seen some big-time flashes of lightning. We'll show some WeatherBug Network cameras in just a few moments. But again, none of these storms are severe right now in northwest Arkansas. And I don't anticipate widespread severe weather along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. It's really going to be south of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel towards the I-40 corridor. We're expecting the most significant severe weather. But flash flooding is in the cards for northwest Arkansas. So that's why we got to stay weather aware, because a lot of folks have to go to work at 6 a.m., right? Taylor, you've got to be watching this very closely because there could be significant flooding in Benton and Washington counties. So we're going to have to watch this as that cluster of storms moves to the area. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for 60 miles per hour winds that is clipping Sequoia County. I do believe this will be dropped very soon. I'm looking at Mega Doppler right now. I'm looking at this line of storms. It's just not as impressive right now in those areas. Not to say that can't change, right? But if you live in Sequoia County, boom, right on cue, that severe thunderstorm warning is gone. So the only severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for our area is in LaFleur in southern Sequoia County. This does include Poto, Big Cedar, Highway 59. That's for 70 miles per hour winds, and it does have a tornado possible tag attached to it. This is a storm right here that we're going to have to watch the closest as it tracks just south of Fort Smith. We'll see if it jogs farther north and east, but as of right now, I think this storm is going to be tracking just off to the south of the Fort Smith area, looking at the latest. But look at that line surge right there. That's why it prompted that tornado possible potential, and that's why we're going to have to watch it very closely. Let's get a fresh storm track on this baby here. Let's get the speed at 50 miles per hour. That's about as fast as it's moving right now. We'll take that track all the way to the most dangerous part of the storm, race it off. We'll go east-southeast just a little bit, and we'll go for over the next hour. So if you live in Poto, right around 5:05 a.m., within the next 15 to 20 minutes, you are going to be experiencing some strong winds up to 70 miles per hour. I was just talking about the Big Cedar area, 5:13 a.m. there. West Hartford at 5:19. Mansfield, 5:30. I know the Mansfield area very well. They had a significant tornado a few years ago from a similar kind of setup. So we're going to have to watch that very closely as that storm races off to the east. But just make sure you're staying weather aware in Mansfield. Greenwood at 5:34 a.m. and Mena at 5:44 a.m. One thing I want to mention real quick, folks, is that we're running up against the KNWA Today newscast. We're going to probably be in and out of this live stream a little bit. I'm also going to be talking a little bit quieter than I normally do because we're going to have a newscast that's going on, unfortunately, at the same time as these storms are rolling in. If these storms are starting to prompt tornado potential, if they're starting to really take off, right, we're done with the newscast. We're going to get right to severe weather coverage again, and we're gonna make that the main focus. But just be aware, in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to have to take breaks from the live stream, unfortunately, because of our newscast. I'll come back in. I'll give you all the latest details. I promise you that. We're not going to go anywhere, right? But I'm just giving you a heads up. That is going to be something we have to deal with this morning. So just bear with me. Be patient. I'm the only one in here right now. And I just want to make sure everybody's getting the latest information, right? Because obviously these storms are going to cause some impacts to your morning commute. I know I was just mentioning Northwest Arkansas. I know how the storms won't be as significant in NWA when it comes to severe weather potential, but flash flooding can be just as dangerous. And that is a big concern in Northwest Arkansas. Let me tell you why. I'm going to take this storm track off here, and I'm going to zoom out here. What we've got going on in Northwest Arkansas is we've got this big cluster of storms that's pushing along I-49. You may be thinking, all right, this is done. This is it. But here we go. We've got another line of thunderstorms that will probably be moving into Northwest Arkansas within the next couple of hours. And while it may not produce as much severe weather as it did earlier, it is going to produce very heavy rainfall. And that is going to be a big time problem. All these flash flood warnings that you see that are being issued, that's going to be extending into Benton and Washington counties very, very soon, and likely into the River Valley as well. Flooding is a big concern with this particular setup. So that's what we're working with right now. let's go back to Mega Doppler here. Let's take a look at what's going on with this storm in LaFleur County, because, again, that's the most concerning thunderstorm. These storms right here in northwest Arkansas that I'm hovering over, those really aren't concerning me right now. None of these are really even close to severe. There could be some gusty winds, but there's nothing really going on there. Let's make sure our storm motion is set from the warning. We're still watching this area right here, southeast of LaFleur along US Highway 271. That right there might be a little area of rotation. And again, these can spin up very quickly, folks, so we've got to watch this like a hawk. I know this looks like maybe that was a CC drop right there, but look, it doesn't line up with the radar, so that's not a CC drop. Don't worry, there wasn't a tornado in those areas. But again, we'll have to watch this little area just off to the east of LaFleur. If that keeps on its current track, it is kind of racing a little bit to the northeast with that latest scam. If you live in Worcester or Poto, got to make sure we're watching that very closely there along US Highway 271. That's going to be our area of rotation. There's also some little embedded supercells here, maybe a little nub right there just off to the north of State Highway 1. We'll watch that very closely. Again, we're just watching this like a hawk right here. But that's really the only part of the line that I'm concerned with right now, which is, kind of a good thing because we just want to focus on one area. Earlier this storm was producing tornadoes left and right. It was producing tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings out in Oklahoma. There was multiple areas along the line that you had to watch for quick spin-ups. Right now, we're really only focused on this part of the line, and hopefully it stays on a weakening trend, because if it does, then, we're transitioning out of severe weather potential and more into flash flooding. We'll stay on for the flash flooding risk, because let me tell you, it is significant. I just talked about that a few moments ago. It is a significant flooding risk, so we're going to stay on when it comes to that. But look at this. Tulsa, just off to the north and east of Tulsa, 67-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported there just off to the west of the radar. So obviously these storms have been packing a punch. There was one report of a 110 miles per hour gust out in northwest Oklahoma. Believe it or not, I know that sounds hard to believe, but that actually did happen. So, man, oh man, folks, this is going to be a pretty long morning, I would say, here in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Let's go back to Max 1. We've got a new flash flood warning to talk about here. Right on cue, I was just talking about Benton and Washington counties. Flash flood warning just issued for portions of Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, and West Fork. It's going to be along Highway 62, Highway 412. Heaviest rainfall occurring right now just along Highway 62 near Prairie Grove and Greenland. We've also got very heavy rainfall just off to the east of West Fork and near the Lincoln areas. So that's where our most significant flooding threat is currently located. Let's go here and look at the latest precipitation totals. Now, remember, this is not going to be perfect, right? But gives you a general idea of what's going on. And look at that. We've already received about 3 to 4 inches of rain in that flash flood warning in southwest Missouri. Along I-49, obviously the rainfall totals haven't been as significant yet, but that's going to be changing very soon. So already about 1 to 2 inches of rain in Benton County, about an inch of rain in and around Fayetteville, and plenty more to come, folks. That northern part of the line, while not as significant when it comes to severe weather, that is going to be producing some big-time flooding potential. And it's getting loud outside. So you know what? Let's go ahead and look at some of our cameras here, because I want to make sure we're keeping our eye on the sky. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Bella Vista camera to kick things off here. That's where the heaviest rain has occurred so far in northwest Arkansas. Seeing some flashes of lightning, highly electrified thunderstorms, plenty of instability in place right now, but maybe not as much wind shear. Those shear vectors are not as favorable for tornado development in northwest Arkansas and severe weather. So hopefully those trends continue as that cluster of storms pushes through. Let's take a look at the Bentonville Square camera. Obviously an ominous scene there, some low-hanging clouds, quite a bit of rain, and some occasional flashes of lightning. Lincoln is crazy right now, and I wish we still had our Lincoln camera go, whoo! That was a big-time lightning strike over the Bentonville Square camera. Always be nerding out with those cloud-to-ground strikes, and that was a big one right there. By the way, we're recording all these cameras as well, so you're probably going to see a time-lapse later today from Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff. So just be on the lookout for that. Let's take a look at that Posey Mountain camera. This is facing off to the west. It's going to be very hard to see what's going on in the higher train areas of northwest Arkansas. But obviously some heavy rain and some lightning. There's a big flash right there. That camera just a little bit laggy. Let's go to the Mount Sequoia camera. Very heavy rain obviously occurring there. And you can see my face. What's up, everybody? I'm going to move myself out of the way because you don't want to see my ugly mug. Again, some gusty winds probably moving in Washington County right now. Obviously, a lot of lightning being present, so we can hear it outside, but not severe. I can't stress that enough. It's not severe right now, folks. I'm not seeing anything that tells me that these storms are going to get severe warned in Northwest Arkansas, at least over the next couple of hours. But man, uh, these storms are rocking and rolling right now, Lisa. That is for sure. And they're going to be producing some big time flooding potential in NWA. Let's go ahead and look at that Huntsville Airport camera. Love this camera here. It's black and white, so we're done with that. Sorry about that. I don't know why that camera does that. It's a very weird situation. All right. Let's see here. This is the Huntsville Middle School camera. So you can see that lightning that's ongoing there. I'm going back and forth between radar as well, just making sure nothing's going on with that storm in Northwest Arkansas. Again, just some gusty winds, some very heavy rain moving through Madison County right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if a flash flood warning was issued very, very soon for Madison County as well. We've already seen that, obviously, for Benton and Washington counties in Northwest Arkansas. Madison County are probably next. I would say Newton County. You got the rain that's starting to roll in towards Jasper. I would say a flash flood warning is going to be imminent within the next hour or so. It's just going to be the name of the game this morning, folks, and that's why you've got to stay weather aware. Let's take a look at that Kisser FM tower camera. Trying to see if we can get a view maybe of that LaFleur County storm. It's going to be very difficult. If we go to the Fort Smith camera here, this is the public library camera. Seeing some occasional flashes of lightning off in the distance. Nothing going on really in Fort Smith yet, but that could change very soon. Now, I will say this. The line of storms is definitely not as significant in Fort Smith as compared to other locations. So I would say some lighter rain possible right along the Interstate 40 corridor. But Waldron, you do need to keep an eye on this line. The strongest part of this line is going to be pushing towards Scott County very soon. So if you're in Waldron, got to make sure we're staying weather aware in Scott County because this line right here is pretty gnarly, still producing some strong winds. Wouldn't be surprised that severe thunderstorm warning was continued a little bit farther east there. So keep a close eye on this if you live near Waldron. Poto, obviously, you're about to experience some gusty winds. I'm keeping an eye on the Big Cedar area as well in southern Washington, southern LaFleur County, as well as Heavener and Worcester. Again, I'm looking at Mega Doppler behind the scenes, but I don't see anything too concerning right now with that line. So that's good. Maybe this line is starting to weaken in the River Valley, and maybe we don't have to worry as much about severe weather potential. Do you think the wind will die down, push it into Washington, Madison County? So good question here. I know we've got some gusty winds that are being reported right now, but none of these are severe. I can't stress that enough in Northwest Arkansas. There probably will be some gusty wind potential all morning long. There probably will be some power outages. Unfortunately, meteorologist Davion Huggins, just lost power at his house. So there probably will be several power outages this morning. We're going to be talking about that during the newscast. That's really the main concern in Northwest Arkansas, unfortunately, along with that flash flooding potential. So hopefully we dodge a bullet on that front, but I don't think we will when it comes to widespread power outages because these storms are just so highly electrified right now. And the reason why they're electrified, folks, is because of the amount of instability in the atmosphere, right? We may not be getting widespread severe weather in Northwest Arkansas, but there still is a lot of instability, especially, south of Benton County, still in Washington, Madison, and Newton counties. Obviously, the instability is kind of sapped in southwest Missouri and far northwestern Arkansas. So I'm going to go ahead and call it now. If you're worried about severe weather in northern Benton County towards Bella Vista or Bentonville, the severe weather potential is basically over in these spots because the instability is sapped, right? So I wouldn't be too concerned about severe weather in Bentonville or in Bella Vista, maybe even Eureka Springs as well, Jay, Oklahoma. If you just heard your town name there, I think the severe weather potential, if any, is pretty much done. If we go a little bit farther to the south, Fayetteville right now is still in that instability axis, though that's going to be ending pretty soon as these storms continue to train over the same area. So Fayetteville, the severe weather potential might be dropping off very soon too. It's really the River Valley where we have to watch a little bit closer because there's no thunderstorms out ahead of that line that's moving in through LaFleur County. So these storms could maintain their strength or get a little bit stronger as they push just south of the I-40 corridor. So hopefully that kind of gives you a visual on what's going on with these storms and where the most significant severe weather threat is currently located right now. Because I know it's very loud. Trust me, we can hear it outside. It's loud in Fayetteville. It's loud in Northwest Arkansas. But loudness doesn't necessarily equate to severity, right? And I'm not too concerned about severe weather in Northwest Arkansas at this current time. Obviously, weather can change. We're not letting our guard down, but at this time, I wouldn't be too concerned about anything severe weather-wise in Washington or Benton counties. Very heavy rainfall, though. Flash flood warning remains in effect until 8 a.m. Still have that severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 5:15 a.m. That is for LaFleur County and southern Sequoia County. 70 miles per hour winds, tornado possible, still associated with that. So there is a new area of this line that I'm watching right now. It's just off to the west of Page. I'm going to show you that here on Mega Doppler. This is the part of the line that concerns me the most. This is going to be moving towards Highway 259, U.S. Highway 59, near the Page area. This part of the line right here does need to be watched. That is maybe a little area of rotation that's starting to pump up there on radar. So nothing imminent, nothing too crazy, but we're going to keep an eye on that. I know I was talking about, Worcester earlier. This area was rotating just a few moments ago. Now it's kind of falling apart a little bit. But again, that's just kind of the name of the game with this line of thunderstorms. It's highly frustrating, folks. Highly frustrating to forecast and to talk about because these lines can just ramp up very quickly and then they die off just as quickly as they ramp up. But in that period of time, in that very short window, they can prompt tornado potential. So we're not going to let our guard down. We're going to watch this very closely for you if you live in LaFleur County. And then as this transitions into portions of Crawford, Sebastian, and Scott counties as well. So that's the line that we're watching. I'm going to make that my main focus, at least over the next few moments. One thing I also got to make my main focus is the newscast. Again, if you're just now tuning in, folks, I wanted to talk about this real quick because I know we're going to get comments about this. We're about to have a newscast within the next 3 minutes, right? So I'm going to be in and out of this live stream. I have no choice but to do that. If there's no tornado potential, I'm not going to interrupt, our newscast, but I will come in and out. I will give you some updates. I will keep you posted. I'll have my forecast on KNW today, starting within the next 2 to 3 minutes, right? We're going to keep you posted. We're going to keep you safe. I promise you that. But just be aware, this live stream is going to go in and out throughout the morning, all the way up until about 8 o'clock, because we've got KNW today at 5 and 6, and we've got Fox 24 News at 7. So please bear with me this morning. We're going to keep you safe. We're going to keep you posted, and we'll let you know about all the latest details. All right. We're about to get to the newscast, folks. I got to get my show ready to rock and roll. Jackie's just now joined the studio. We're about to start KNW today. Within the next couple of minutes, we're going to stay on this live stream. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for LaFleur County. That goes until 5:15 a.m. for 70 miles per hour winds, and it does have that tornado possible tag it's associated with it. And again, there is an area of rotation that we do have to watch right now that is just off to the southwest of Heavener, moving towards Page along Highway 59. Nothing that is tight. There's not a tight couplet there, but it is an area of rotation that we'll have to watch very closely near the Page area in LaFleur County. All right, folks, stand by. We're going to be starting a newscast very soon. Thank you so much for trusting our team, and we'll keep you posted as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. I'm going to mute my mic right now. We'll be on in about an hour. Or excuse me, in 1 minute, not an hour. Well, good morning. Welcome into KNWA Today. Severe weather is the top story this morning. We've got a tremendous amount of lightning that's moving through our Huntsville Middle School WeatherBug Network camera. If we go along in time here, you'll be able to see that lightning right now is mostly confined to northwest Arkansas right now. You're seeing quite the lightning show over our Rogers camera. That's that benchmark group, Cameron Rogers. And then in the River Valley right now, the most concerning thunderstorm is in LaFleur County near the Poto area. We are watching the severe thunderstorm warning very closely. There are some little areas of rotation that are moving along Highway 59 south and east of Poto. That's moving off to the north and east at about 50 miles per hour. So if you live in the River Valley, especially near Scott County, got to watch that storm very closely. We've seen several flash flood warnings in southwest Missouri. We do have that flash flood warning with the considerable tag attached to it in Berry County near Cassville and Channel Lakes. That goes until 8 a.m. Another flash flood warning in effect for northern Delaware County. That goes until 6 o'clock. Then a little bit farther to the south along I-49, another flash flood warning until 8 a.m. That includes Benton and Washington counties. Very heavy rain moving through northwest Arkansas and a tremendous amount of lightning right now. But none of these storms are severe, and I do anticipate that trend to continue in northwest Arkansas at least over the next 30 to 45 minutes. Now, in the River Valley, again, we've got that severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag attached to it for LaFleur County. That's for 70 miles per hour winds. It does have a tornado possible tag associated with it. We're going to be watching this line of storms very closely as we go throughout the rest of your morning commute. But first, your news at 5 starts right now.
Proudly covering the Northwest Arkansas community. This is KNWA Today.
Well, good morning. You are waking up to very rainy and stormy conditions here in our area. Rain chances, as Josh just said, are expected to increase across our area this week. And now is a good time to make sure that you're ready for whatever the forecast may bring. Good morning. I'm Jacqueline House.
And I'm Ashlyn Brothers. Whether it's heavy rain, thunderstorms, or localized flooding, having a plan in place can make a big difference. We've put together a severe weather safety guide with tips on building an emergency kit, staying weather aware, and knowing where to go if conditions turn dangerous. You can find that guide right now on our website, knwa.com.
And while you're on our website, make sure that you're staying connected on the go as well. Our Weather Authority app is a free tool that helps you track those changing conditions wherever you are. You can view live radar, receive weather alerts tailored to your location, and watch latest forecasts from Josh, Dan, Davion, and Leslie. And when storms move in, the app can help you stay informed with information you need right at your fingertips. Just scan that QR code that's right there on your screen to download our Weather Authority app for free. Now, as many families head to Beaver Lake during the 4th of July holiday weekend, higher prices at the pump don't appear to be keeping boaters off the water.
Our Phoebe Kramer spoke with families and marina staff about what they're expecting to be one of the busiest weekends of the summer.
It's a lot different buying gas at the lake, putting in your boat, than it is putting in your car going to work.
Rocky Branch Marina always sees an increase in boaters this time of the year. But with the cost of gas higher than normal, Jason Smith with the marina says it hasn't stopped boaters from coming out and enjoying the water.
People want to go to the lake and have fun, take their family out, build memories. And
Smith says he expects thousands of boaters to be out on the water. Right now, they sell a gallon of gas for $5.49. But boaters like Mendy Brown say she doesn't want the price of gas to be the reason why she isn't out on the water with her family.
When we get on the water, I just try to pretend like they don't exist because there's not really a lot of options for gas on the lake. And so we try to enjoy it as much as we can and just pretend like we don't know what the prices are.
Mendy's son Lucas says boating gives them the chance to be on the peaceful side of Northwest Arkansas, even during one of the busiest weekends in the year.
I like boating out because then we can have peace and quiet to ourselves and don't have to be in noisy places.
As part of the 4th of July weekend, Rocky Branch Marina is preparing for one of the largest fireworks shows they have ever had on the lake.
we doubled our budget from last year, and there won't be a dead spot in the sky. It's going to be incredible. It's going to happen right outside the marina.
That was our Phoebe Kramer reporting. And if you're planning to watch those fireworks July 4th weekend at Rocky Branch Marina, officials recommend arriving before the sunset to get a good spot.
The show is scheduled to begin after dark, and the marina staff say this year's display will be one of the biggest they've ever hosted.
Happening this week, the Botanical Garden of the Ozarks is getting ready to light up the night with its annual Firefly Fling. The family-friendly event takes place Saturday, June 27th from 5:30 p.m. until 9:15 p.m. right here in Fayetteville. Visitors can enjoy live entertainment, on-hand activities, food and drinks, plus after-hours access to the gardens. Organizers say guests can also enjoy interactive experiences, glowing displays, and plenty of fun for all ages. Tickets are still available, but prices will increase the day of the event.
And local students will have the chance to explore careers in healthcare and public safety during a special event tomorrow hosted by Baptist Health Fort Smith. The hospital is bringing together members of its Next Gen Teen Volunteer Program, UAMS MASH students and first responders and healthcare professionals for Heroes Unite. Similar to a Touch a Truck event, students will be able to meet police officers, firefighters, and EMS crews, check out emergency vehicles, and learn about different career paths in public service. The event will take place at Baptist Health Fort Smith. The time now is 5:06. Let's go ahead and check in with Josh with those morning commute conditions. My goodness, there's a lot of electricity in the atmosphere.
Yeah, not looking good on the roadways this morning, Jackie and Ashland. I'll be honest with you. I would not recommend traveling right now along I-49. I know some folks got to get off to work, but we've got significant flooding that is likely to occur in Bentonville and near the Fayetteville area right now. Northbound, southbound lanes just socked with rain, as well as Highway 412. Pretty quiet along Interstate 540 right now, but that will change very soon. Again, just make sure you're taking it nice and easy as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. One more KNWA Today coming up after this quick break.
Proudly covering the Northwest Arkansas community, this is KNWA Today with Jacqueline House, Ashland Brothers, and meteorologist Josh Rugger.
Closed captioning is brought to you.
I'm back here. We're in a break right now, so this is just going to be the vibe as we move throughout the rest of the morning hours. Going to have to go in and out of the live stream in order to give you some of those updates. We're still watching this severe thunderstorm very closely in portions of Leflore County. This is now going to be transitioning into Scott County. You can see that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Scott County, as well as southwestern Logan County. Now, the considerable tag has been dropped off. That's the good news, right? So 60 miles per hour gust associated with that storm. It is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour, so still moving very quickly. And here's another good thing. No tornado possible tag associated with the storm. However, we are not going to let our guard down when it comes to that because there are still some little areas that we're going to be watching, these little nubs right here that can sometimes prompt quick spin up potential. There's also maybe a little cluster that we'll have to watch there near the Monroe area in eastern Leflore County. Those two spots right there are the most concerning when it comes to stronger winds as well as severe weather potential. Again, northwest Arkansas right now dealing with very heavy rainfall. Still observing that right now in Benton and Washington counties. So still got that flash flood warning that's in effect. Looks like we got some folks that are sending in some pictures here. So we've got Denton sending in a video here of the lightning that's going on in Fayetteville. You can smell the ionization outside. So right about that, Denton. These are highly electrified thunderstorms, some of the most lightning flashes we've seen so far this year with any storm system, and that's saying something. But here's the good news, folks. We are not expecting this to produce a whole lot of significant severe weather in northwest Arkansas, at least. Now, in Leflore County, towards Scott County, southern Logan County, those areas, you still need to watch this. I'm watching that area very closely near Monroe right now. Just maybe a little line surge. Again, these can sneak up very, very quickly. It's also pretty close to the radar. This line of storms is going to be parallel to the radar, so could cause some problems when it comes to viewing of little nubs and little areas of rotation. So we'll watch that very closely. But we're about to be back on the air. So I'm going to make sure my forecast is ready to rock and roll. Again, folks, I'm by myself behind the scenes, so just bear with me this morning. Going to do the best we can with what we got. Of course, my computer system is also not doing the best right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we're about to be on air right now, so stand by for more live coverage. All right, the time now is 5:09 a.m. Still watching the severe thunderstorm very closely in Leflore County. This is starting to transition into Scott and southwestern Logan County. I know a lot of folks are wondering what's going on in Northwest Arkansas. No severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Northwest Arkansas at this time, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for LaFleur County. That goes until 5:15 a.m. Tornado possible tag going to be dropped off on that warning as it surges a little bit farther to the east. This is the newest severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 5:45 a.m. for 60 miles per hour winds. That includes much of Scott County as well as southwestern Logan County. Another severe thunderstorm warning looks like it just got issued south of Fort Smith. Again, this is the most concerning thunderstorm right now, but flash flooding is going to be a concern in Northwest Arkansas. Notice how this line has kind of been training over the same areas. We've got some additional heavy rainfall that's going on in northeast Oklahoma, and that will be moving along the I-49 corridor as we go throughout the next 3 to 4 hours. That's the Lickster forecast for Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Jackie and Ashlyn, I'll send things back over to you.
Hershey is best known for its chocolate, but the company's legacy extends far beyond the candy aisle.
In today's Spirit of America report, we're taking a look at how a unique boarding school is helping continue that mission.
Milton Hershey had a series of business failures and then ultimately became successful, making the Hershey bar.
Very successful. Every year, the Hershey company sells
All right, folks, I got
almost...
an opportunity here where I can get back on live streaming coverage. So again, there's the new severe thunderstorm warning. I didn't have time to show that on air. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody behind the scenes that can control that for me. But there's the new severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern LaFleur County, as well as southwestern Sebastian County. That's for 60 miles per hour winds. That goes until 5:45 a.m. But again, the tornado possible tag has been dropped off. The considerable tag has been dropped. So obviously the winds have gone down just a little bit, but we're not going to let our guard down when it comes to the storm, folks. I'm still watching a couple of areas that have maybe some broad rotation that are going on right now in LaFleur County. That's going to be transitioning into Sebastian County very soon. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. Again, these little areas of rotation can sneak up on you so quickly, and that's why we're not going to let our guard down this morning. Let's go back to Mega Doppler here. Let's take a look at the latest when it comes to that line of storms. Again, the most concerning thunderstorm is moving through the River Valley right now. So that's the area that we're watching closest for severe weather. For Northwest Arkansas, a bit of a different hazard that's starting to take hold of the area. There's not a whole lot of severe weather going on in Northwest Arkansas. I know it's loud, right? We've been loud most of the morning, but flash flooding is a massive concern right now in Northwest Arkansas. There are several flash flood warnings that are in effect. We got some in Delaware County. We got some in Adair, Benton, and Washington County under flash flood warnings, and there will be more flash flood warnings that are issued farther east as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. And so again, very loud in Northwest Arkansas, right? But that doesn't necessarily equate to severity. These storms are below severe limits in Northwest Arkansas, and that is likely to continue as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. So keeping a close eye on that. Again, this package is still running behind the scenes right now. So we'll have another weather hit coming up very soon on air. But when it comes to our newscast, again, I'm going to be in and out of coverage this morning. I got to find those windows of opportunity in order to talk to you guys because it's a little bit different than a typical live stream, obviously. So please bear with me this morning. I want to make sure everybody is, getting the heads up on what's going on. The flash flooding potential is significant enough for me to stay on as well. So we're going to be on here until 8 o'clock at the very least. And we're going to keep you safe, and we're going to get you all the information that you need as you head off to work this morning. Or if you are experiencing severe weather when it comes to power outages and stuff like that, just giving you the latest details and giving you some peace of mind, especially if you live in Northwest Arkansas. Because I know some folks are concerned about severe weather in Northwest Arkansas, but I really would not be too concerned about that if you live in Washington County. I know it's loud. Again, it's going to be loud all morning long, but just not anything that's too concerning when it comes to severe weather. So how's Spiro? It's very windy. So yes, in the Spiro area right now, it is windy, no doubt about it. And that is to be expected. But you're on the northern side of this line right now, Jason. So this northern side of the line, yes, it's producing strong winds, but I don't see anything concerning there when it comes to tornado potential. Now, there could be a little nub right there on the northern side of the line that we'll have to watch. And that is just east of you now. So you're out of the picture when it comes to this. But keep an eye on this if you live near Fort Smith, folks. That might be a little area that's trying to bulge out there. And if that continues, that may prompt a new severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible potential. So we'll watch that very closely. So yeah, you did get a nice little wind surge there, Jason, but the tornado potential is east of you now. Tornado threat is over, Justice in Heavener. The line of storms, at least the most dangerous part of the line, is east of you now. Gusty winds, lightning, heavy rain, certainly possible, but no tornado potential now in Heavener. Rudy area, Jessica, you're going to get some heavy rain. I wouldn't be too concerned right now about, significant severe weather, though, in Rudy. Heavy rain, lightning, all that, definitely possible, but nothing concerning when it comes to significant tornado potential, which is absolutely fantastic news. All right, I'm doing a couple of things behind the scenes right here, folks. Just making sure our show's ready to rock and roll because I'm about to be back on air again. So bear with me. Got to make sure we've got all the flash flood warnings that are in place. I know everybody's asking about specific towns, and I wish I could get to every single small town in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley. But again, really, all you need to know right now is that the most significant severe weather is south of Interstate 40 in LaFleur, Sebastian, and Scott counties. If you live in those areas, if you just heard your county mentioned, I would make sure you're keeping an eye on this. For everybody else, you're experiencing heavy rain, you're experiencing lightning, you're experiencing flooding potential, but it's not anything that is significant right now. All right, we're about to be back on, folks. So stand by, and we'll continue this coverage on air. All right.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
Well, it's been a highly electrified morning across portions of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Here's a look at our Huntsville Middle School WeatherBug Network camera. Just big flashes of lightning that are ongoing right now. Can't stress this enough, though, folks. If you live in Northwest Arkansas along I-49, yes, these storms are packing a punch when it comes to heavy rain and flooding potential, but the overall severe the risk is on the lower side, which is great news. Here's a look at our Rogers Benchmark Group WeatherBug Network camera. Obviously, a very soggy scene there. We've also seen quite a bit of lightning over our Decatur City Hall WeatherBug Network camera. So again, those thunderstorms are ongoing in Northwest Arkansas, but the most significant severe weather is associated with these storms south of Interstate 40. You've got several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, some gusty winds moving into Scott County, starting to transition into portions of Sebastian County as well. And we are watching these little nubs along the line for brief spin-up tornado potential. Again, it's not a high-end threat for tornadoes, folks. I can't stress that enough, but we cannot let our guard down when it comes to this line of storms. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Let's get through all these flash flood warnings first. We've got a flash flood warning in effect for Berry and McDonald counties. That goes until 8 a.m. Considerable flash flood warning in effect for this localized area in Berry County near Cassville and Channel Lakes. A little bit farther to the west, we've got another flash flood warning in effect along the Highway 59 corridor for northern Delaware County. That will expire within the next 45 minutes. Another flash flood warning in Benton and Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. This will probably be extended, folks, just looking at some of the latest details. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe some considerable flash flooding just south of Fayetteville near West Fork and Winslow. That's where the heaviest rain is occurring right now as those thunderstorms continue to train over the same areas. And as I just mentioned, tremendous amount of lightning associated with these storms in Northwest Arkansas, but these are below severe limits. Now, let's go into the River Valley where severe weather potential continues. Again, the strongest thunderstorm is now moving out of LaFleur County into portions of Scott and Logan County. That severe thunderstorm warning is for 60 miles per hour winds, and it goes until 5:45 a.m. We got another severe thunderstorm warning in northeastern LaFleur County near Poto, stretching into the Greenwood area. That also goes until 5:45 a.m., and that is for 60 miles per hour wind. So that's the strongest thunderstorm right there. But look at all this heavy rain, folks. You see that little spin there as well, just off to the west of Tulsa? This is what we call a mesoscale convective vortex, and this can produce some of the heaviest rain and some of the most significant severe weather that we can see in this part of the country as that spin continues to drag off to the south and east. And normally on the southern part of this line, that's where you have to watch for more significant severe weather. In fact, earlier this morning in northern Oklahoma, there was a wind gust of 110 miles per hour that was reported. Now, thankfully for our area, that's not as big of a concern. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for most of the KNWA coverage area that goes until 11 a.m. We also have a flood watch in effect for a large part of northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and that will go until 1 p.m. Again, just so many warnings on the screen right now that it's covering up that severe thunderstorm watch and flood warning. But again, that's in effect for pretty much the entire weather coverage area. So obviously high rain chances right now. That will start to taper off as we move towards the late morning and early afternoon hours. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, those rain chances going to be bumping up within the next 30 to 45 minutes, peaking at 90%. Before tapering off a little bit slower, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some scattered shower potential in the River Valley later on this afternoon to the evening hours, but most spots should be quiet. Just a heads up, though, tomorrow morning there is going to be the chance for some showers and storms. We don't have enough time to talk about that right now because we're so focused on what's going on here, but we've got a very active weather pattern coming up for the rest of this week, folks, so we got to make sure we're staying weather aware. Now, here's the latest HRRR, high-resolution rapid refresh model. It's a little bit behind when it comes to the evolution of the storm system, but you can see the most significant severe weather potential, again, staying along and south of Interstate 40 through about 7, 8 o'clock this morning. For northwest Arkansas, it's mostly going to be a heavy rain and flash flooding threat, which can be just as dangerous as severe weather. In fact, that's the number one killer when it comes to natural disasters in our area. Flash floods are definitely something that are no joke, especially in those low-lying areas. So got to watch that very closely along I-49 and Interstate 40. Thankfully, by 10, 11 o'clock, most of the rain is starting to push out of our area. Some scattered showers could be hanging around the I-49 and Interstate 40 corridors, but a relatively quiet Monday afternoon expected with high temperatures in the lower to middle 80s. And in terms of rainfall, I think the most significant rain is going to be right here, right in Washington County towards Madison and Newton County. You can see an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain. There could be even some locally higher amounts in some spots, and that's why the flooding potential is definitely significant. For the River Valley, maybe a little bit less rain, but 1 to 2 inches looking very commonplace south of Interstate 40. So just make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. And make sure you download our free Weather Authority app as well. You can scan that QR code on your screen right now. You can also find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. As I just mentioned, a very active week of weather, 60% chance of rain Tuesday afternoon in northwest Arkansas, 80% chance of rain on Wednesday, 40 to 60% chance for showers and storms on Thursday and Friday. And then we finally wind things down as we head towards the weekend. Highs will be in the upper 80s with overnight lows in the 70s. So obviously that Gulf moisture is going nowhere across the Ozarks. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, high temperatures will be right around 87 degrees today, 86 on Tuesday and Wednesday with a 60 to 70% chance for showers and storms. Temps warming up into the middle 90s this weekend with overnight lows in the upper 70s. Let's look at your full forecast for northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We'll have your Picture on Nation report coming up after this quick break. We are watching it very closely. All right. Let me do the cut-ins, folks. That's just something that will air, on the Today Show and stuff like that. So stand by. All right.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
Heavy rain is starting to push east of I-49, but we still got plenty of shower and storm potential coming up this week. 60 to 80% chance of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday especially needs to be watched very closely for more flash flooding potential. High temperatures remaining steady Eddie in the lower to middle 80s with overnight lows in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. Thankfully, this weekend is looking a whole lot more quiet. Highs will be in the upper 80s with mostly sunny skies by Sunday and overnight lows in the middle 70s. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, high temperatures will be meandering in the upper 80s over the next several days. 70% chance for showers and storms on Tuesday before we warm up into the middle 90s by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. Have a marvelous rest of your Monday. We'll have more coming up later tonight.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
Most of the rain is pushed out of our area, but more shower and storm potential coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday with a 60 to 80% chance for showers and storms. Highs will be in the low to middle 80s with overnight lows in the 70s. River Valley, slightly higher rain chances for Tuesday, sitting at 70%. Highs will be in the middle 80s through Wednesday before warming all the way up into the middle 90s by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. Have a marvelous rest of your Monday. Dan Scoff will have more coming up later tonight. All right, guys, back. We've got Picture Nation coming up here, so I've got plenty of time to talk to you about the latest details. So let's get right to it. I'm going to go to Mega Doppler here, so we're going to transition to that. Again, we're watching the storm very closely south of Interstate 40. Hold on a second. Is this even live? I tried to log into the app. I never could get in. I think it's so irresponsible to have to log into that thing when you know there's a storm. I never could even get in. I feel sorry for older people who might not even have an email. Danya, I don't believe you have to sign into anything when you go into our app. Davion, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that front. I don't think there's anything to sign into on our app that we have. Appreciate you tuning in, though. Appreciate that. Communications have been off to the signal. That's exactly what's going on. Thank you, Davion, for mentioning that. We got a lot of power outages that are going on right now in Northwest Arkansas, which is probably causing some problems. Again, I'm doing this solo right now as well. I'm doing the best I can, folks. So just bear with me, So let's go back to this line of storms. Again, I'm really trying, folks. I'm really trying. So here's that line that we're watching. Again, there's a little area that's kind of gusting out right here, just off to the south and west of Waldron. I was talking about Scott County earlier. That's the area that's most concerning, but I am noticing a weakening trend with this line of storms. Notice how it was a little more stout earlier. There might be some storms that are racing out ahead of this line that may be weakening it a little bit. We've also got this gnarly line of storms right here moving right along U.S. Highway 71 near Greenwood. That's going to be producing some gusty winds as it races off to the east-northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So are tornadoes a threat, Destiny? The threat is going down, but it's not zero, especially if you live in the River Valley, right? So the River Valley right now is where the most concerning thunderstorms are. Northwest Arkansas, there's really no severe weather, but flash flooding is a big concern. And we'll talk about this in just a minute, MB, and I really appreciate that, Andre. I really do appreciate that. MB, how much rain in NWA? We'll get to that in just a minute, but it's a lot. That's why we got flash flood warnings that are in effect for a large part of the I-49 corridor right now. Again, River Valley, though, that's where the strongest storms are. We're watching this little area right here, maybe some stronger winds that's starting to move off to the north and east. It's not uncommon, too, for these storms when they're weakening to kind of gust out a little bit, right? So you kind of get a surge, right? It kind of dumps all of its rain and wind at one time. So that may be what's going on right now south and west of Waldron, but still keep an eye on that part of that storm right there. That could be an area of interest. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go here to our WeatherBug Network cameras. I'm going to make sure that camera is facing the correct direction because I want to make sure we get a view of that if we can. Maybe a little bit hard, though, especially over the Waldron camera because there is a pole, of course, that is facing directly south. But let's go to the Waldron camera just real quick here. So if we pull that up, you'll be able to see what's going on. So again, there's a lot of lightning going on with this storm. We're facing this camera to the south, which is where the most concerning part of the storm currently resides. Let's move this a little bit more to the southwest. Oh, we got it there already, so we're in good shape. But I'm not seeing any structure right now that's too concerning with that storm in Waldron. Again, it's kind of hard to see because it's a little bit off in the distance, but I don't see anything too concerning there quite yet near Waldron. But we're going to keep an eye on that part of the storm, folks. Rest assured. Is Huntsville good to go to bed? Absolutely. Yes. Northwest Arkansas, if you don't have to be out and about on the roadways, I wouldn't be too worried about any of the weather that's going on in Northwest Arkansas right now. Obviously, there's flooding potential. And let me talk about that just real quick because I got a little bit of time to do this before we're back on air. But if you don't have to be out on the roadways, don't be out on the roadways in Northwest Arkansas, folks. There's no need to. It's obviously a pretty loud start to the morning. And this flooding threat is definitely the real deal in NWA. So don't go out on the roadways if you don't need to be out there, folks. Here's a look again at the rainfall totals. And yeah, they're getting more and more significant, right? So we're starting to see an uptrend with those rainfall totals. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show that at the very top of this forecast here, just so people can get a general idea of what's going on. But that is a lot of rain that is going on across the Ozarks right now along the I-49 corridor. And let me put that out there. We're going to put like a general area. So yeah, a little over an inch of rain on average, but some spots have received even higher rainfall totals along Interstate 49. So we're going to show that right at the top of the show here. That way folks can get an idea of what's going on with precipitation. Again, we're live right now on KNWA Today. We're in the middle of a newscast, so we're just kind of going in and out of live streaming coverage. So just bear with me this morning. Again, keeping an eye on these storms in the River Valley right now. Nothing too concerning. They are on a weakening trend. That's great news. but still could produce very heavy rain and flash flooding. So let's pull this up here. Max 1 full. This is what we're going to show off the top. And we are about to be on air, folks. So we will talk to you in just a minute.
Coming up on KNWA today at 5:30, investigators say evidence recovered from a Fort Smith home may be linked to multiple theft cases. The latest in the ongoing investigation.
Plus, Arkansas is investing in the next generation of food science. Details on a new center designed to support research, education, and economic development.
And later, spending time outdoors this summer, what you need to know about a tick-borne condition that's getting national attention. The stories that matter, the updates you need. KNWA Today at 5:30 starts right now.
Well, good morning. Happy Monday. It is a stormy one out there today.
Absolutely a highly electrified atmosphere, as Josh Rugger has been saying all morning. Let's go ahead and send things over to him. Josh.
Yeah, absolutely, Ashlyn and Jackie. And very heavy rainfall also associated with these storms, which could produce widespread flooding potential. We're already seeing that right now along Interstate 49, folks. If you don't have to head off to work this morning, don't be out on the roadways. There's no need to do that right now. There's a lot of ponding that's associated with a lot of these showers and storms, especially along Highway 412. River Valley right now is still pretty quiet along Interstate 540, but that is going to be changing within the next 20 to 30 minutes. So got to make sure we're staying weather aware on that front. Again, here's a look at highly coiling mega Doppler, a big time mess. We got multiple polygons that are going on there. We'll talk about that in just a few moments, but look at some of the rainfall totals on the I-49 corridor. Little over an inch on average from Bentonville all the way to Fayetteville and West Fork, with some locally higher totals associated with some of these storms. The heaviest rain has actually occurred in southwestern Missouri towards Berry and McDonald counties. In fact, we've seen about 3.5 inches of rain over the last 3 to 4 hours. So a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, which is why we've got that blue shaded box right there. That's that flash flood warning with a considerable tag attached to it. That goes until 8 a.m. for McDonald County. Also have a flash flood warning extending towards McDonald County. That goes until 8 a.m. as well. Another flash flood warning for northern Delaware County. That goes until 6 a.m. That does include the city of Grove. That's along Highway 59. Another flash flood warning along I-49. This is for Benton and Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. That does include Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, West Fork, and Winslow. Obviously, a tremendous amount of lightning associated with these storms, but the most concerning storms right now still located in the River Valley. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. One of those is for Logan, as well as Scott counties in our weather coverage area. That's along Highway 270. That goes until 5:45 a.m. for 60 miles per hour winds. Another severe thunderstorm warning there near Greenwood. That's for LaFleur and Sebastian County. And that also goes until 5:45 a.m. So, folks, got to make sure we're staying weather aware as we go throughout this event. We'll show you the latest future track details coming up in your full forecast in about 10 minutes. But Jackie and Ashley, I'll go and send things back over to you.
Thank you so much, Josh, for all your hard work this morning. Topping our 5:30 headlines, Fort Smith police say their investigation into a series of possible theft cases is still active and more charges could be on the way.
Investigators recently arrested 24-year-old Cash Knight after following up on suspicious activity near South H Street. Now, police say a search of a residence revealed evidence that may be connected to multiple theft investigations across the area. Knight was taken into custody on outstanding warrants and booked into the Sebastian County Detention Center, or the Adult Detention Center. Fort Smith police say that detectives are continuing to review evidence and have not ruled out additional charges as that investigation moves forward.
New details this morning on a Fort Smith shooting police say stemmed from a domestic disturbance. Investigators say Tayata Davis was involved in an incident with an 18-year-old woman who allegedly escaped through a window and then called a family member for help. Police say Davis then came after her armed with a gun and was shot by that family member. Davis was treated for his injuries and later booked into the Sebastian County Detention Center on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm and second-degree domestic battery. The family member who fired the shot has not been charged in connection with the shooting.
Happening around Arkansas, Governor Sanders is calling on state agencies to continue looking for ways to cut costs. In a letter to department heads and department secretaries, the governor said the effort is part of her plan to continue reducing state income tax while limiting the growth of government. Sanders said agencies should identify additional savings and make sure that taxpayer dollars are being spent effectively. The governor also said new spending requests and personnel positions will face greater scrutiny as the state prepares its next biennial budget.
A major investment is coming to the University of Arkansas's food science program. Governor Sanders has announced $5 million in state funding for the university's new Center of Excellence for Food Science and Innovation. The two-story, 62,000 square foot facility will support food research, student training, and partnerships with Arkansas agricultural producers. The state funding adds to $30 million in federal support already secured for the project. Construction is expected to begin later this summer.
And more than $3 million is headed to Arkansas to help improve water quality across the state. The funding comes from the EPA's Clean Water Act grant program and will support a variety of conservation and restoration projects. Several Northwest Arkansas organizations are receiving funding, including the Beaver Watershed Alliance, H2 Ozarks, the Illinois Watershed Partnership, the Washington County Conservation District, as well as the Watershed Conservation Resource Center. Now, state officials say the projects will help reduce pollution, improve stream health, and protect water resources for future generations.
West Fork first responders are teaming up to help save lives during the 6th annual Boots, Badges, and Bandages Blood Drive. The community challenge takes place Wednesday from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the West Fork Community Center. Police officers, firefighters, and other first responders are encouraging residents to donate blood to help maintain a strong supply for Northwest Arkansas hospitals. Donors will receive a special t-shirt while supplies last, along with a Give and Go Fun Pass featuring admission offers to several area attractions.
And families and children with special needs have a chance to connect with local resources this week during a special event here in Northwest Arkansas. Pediatrics Plus is celebrating the grand opening of its new Springdale Farm location with a free open house and special needs resource fair on Thursday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Now, attendees can meet with community organizations, learn about available support resources and services, and explore therapy resources for children and families. That ribbon cutting service will be held at noon, and lunch will be provided.
Now, if you notice an increase in emergency vehicles around Baptist Health Fort Smith this week, there's no need for alarm. The hospital is hosting a large-scale mock disaster exercise with local law enforcement, fire departments, EMS agencies, and emergency management partners. This year's training scenario involves a simulated school bus crash with hazardous materials, giving UAMS match students and next-gen volunteers a chance to observe and participate in emergency response operations. Hospital officials say there is no threat to public safety. And the time now is 5:37. Taking a live look outside this morning, Josh Rugger said it himself. If you don't have to go to work right now, do not. Stay safe out there. Take it slow. We'll be right back.
All right, folks, we are back again. Got KNWA Today going on right now, so we're kind of in and out of live streaming coverage here on Facebook. Hope you guys are having a great start to your morning. Obviously, it's been a very loud start to the morning across the Ozarks, but thankfully, the overall severe weather potential is starting to drop off. So that is great news, especially for Northwest Arkansas. The flooding risk is very real, though, and that is the most concerning thing about this storm system. We were talking about it this past weekend, latter half of last week, but this flooding risk, folks, is the real deal over far northwestern Arkansas, northeast Oklahoma, and southwest Missouri. Maybe a little bit less so in the River Valley, just looking at the latest details, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still saw some flash flood warnings issued in the River Valley as well. Getting a lot of alerts right now about some special weather statements in Northwest Arkansas, special weather statements. Wait, hold on.
Governor Sanders announces additional funding for a new University of Arkansas Food Science Center, while also calling on state agencies to find more cost savings as part of the plan to reduce income taxes and limit government growth.
All right. Reason why I couldn't talk there, folks, is because we're doing a cut in. We air those during the Today Show and stuff like that. So Ashlyn and Jackie were just doing that cut in there. So again, folks, we're in and out of live streaming coverage, right? There's nothing going on right now that's too concerning in terms of severe weather. If you just now tuned in this morning, I don't see anything in Northwest Arkansas that concerns me, and the concerns are starting to go down rapidly in the River Valley as well. Now our attention turns towards that flooding risk, which is very real. I've been mentioning that all morning long. It is something that you need to take very seriously, especially along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel towards Benton and Washington counties. Folks, if you don't have to be on the roadways, don't be on the roadways this morning. All right. About to go back to the newscast, so stand by, and we will give you some of the latest there. All right, the time now is 5:40 a.m. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. Obviously, traffic is a big concern right now in Northwest Arkansas. We've seen copious amounts of rain over the last couple of hours, several flash flood warnings in effect for Benton and Washington County. So I-49 right now, would highly recommend you're not traveling along it unless you absolutely have to head off to work this morning. Interstate 540 starting to experience some very heavy rainfall as well, as is Highway 412 near Sonora over Beaver Lake. Here's a look at our Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers cam. Still seeing some frequent flashes of lightning, very heavy rainfall, and that threat should start to die down within the next 2 to 3 hours, especially if you live along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. That's a look at your forecast for Northwest Arkansas. Jackie and Ashlyn, I'll send things back over to you.
Thank you so much, Josh. In national news this morning, negotiations between the United States and Iran are underway in Switzerland.
This weekend marked the start of a 60-day diplomatic process.
All right, folks. I'm going to talk really lowly here because we're still doing the newscast, but also want to provide an update. So we've got a few new things to talk about here. All right. So let's go through each flash flood warning real quick, right? Because I know some folks are wondering about what's going on, right? So we've got a flash flood warning that's in effect for Berry and McDonald counties in southwest Missouri, including a considerable flash flood warning that's right smack dab in the middle of Berry County. That's near Cassville and Channel Lakes, and that goes until 8 o'clock a.m. A little bit farther to the west, we got another flash flood warning in northern Delaware County. That goes until 6 a.m., so that's going to expire within the next 15 minutes or so. We'll see if they extend that, though it does look like the rain is starting to die down just a little bit there in far northeastern Oklahoma. Another flash flood warning there in southern Delaware County and then northern Adair County. That goes until 7:45 a.m. Adair County, also towards the central part of it, has a flash flood warning in effect until 8:15 a.m. That includes Stillwell. That's along Highway 59. A little bit farther to the east, yet another flash flood warning for Benton and Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. Looks like the heaviest rain is starting to move out of Benton County, but we still have quite a bit of heavy rainfall in southern Washington County now, starting to move towards northern Crawford County near the Mountainburg area. So going to make sure we're staying weather aware on that front. And then there's all the lightning that's going on right now. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45 a.m. for Logan and Scott counties, and then another severe thunderstorm warning a little bit farther to the north for Sebastian County. That also goes until 5:45 a.m. for 60 miles per hour winds. And real quick, folks, here's a live stream from our very own Michael Craddock. He's one of our storm spotters. He is in Siloam Springs right now along Highway 412. So you can see the heavy rain that's associated with the storm, right? Obviously, I was just talking about the ponding on the roadways. You can kind of see that there. So again, I've been stressing this all morning long, folks. If you don't have to be on the roadways, please do not go on the roadways this morning. It's just a little bit too dangerous right now in Northwest Arkansas to do that. Now, if you have to go to work and stuff like that, take it nice and easy. Take your time. But obviously, we got to make sure we're being very careful on that front. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued. You can see that. Logan and Scott counties, that's at least in our weather coverage area. That goes until 6:30 a.m., and that is for 60 miles per hour winds. I have that pulled up right now, as you can see there. And yeah, no tornado possible tag associated with the storm. I'm keeping a close eye on Halley Equally Mega Doppler as well for any little areas of rotation and stuff like that. I'm not seeing anything too concerning right now with this line. It continues to weaken. That's great, but we're still not going to let our guard down, folks. We know sometimes these things can ramp up very quickly, and that's why we're on air right now. That's why we're doing this live stream. And that's why we want to keep this live stream going until at least 8 o'clock, because I know there's going to be flooding potential as well, especially in Northwest Arkansas. So we don't want to let our guard down on that front either, because as I mentioned in one of the forecasts, flash flooding can be just as dangerous as severe thunderstorms, as tornadoes. It is one of the most deadly natural disasters that we could experience in this area. In fact, it is the most deadly natural disaster in the world. So that's why we're on air right now, and that's why we're talking about these storms, even though they're on a bit of a weakening trend right now. Looks like this is the only severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect. So that's great news. That tells me these storms are starting to move out of our area. So hopefully that trend continues. And oh my goodness, I'm finally able to get sweeping radar once again. This was down all morning long. I was freaking out about it. I was pulling my hair out. I was having to show different radar views. We finally have sweeping radar back up. Whew, thank you. Starting to look on the up and up now. So appreciate everybody bearing with me through the technical difficulties and stuff like that again. Doing things solo right now, so kind of going back and forth. We got a newscast that's going on right now, so I'm having to go back and forth between that, trying to give people the latest information. So we are rocking and rolling this morning, folks. Here for you, here to keep you safe. So that's the latest severe thunderstorm warning. We're in a break. We're going to have a new forecast coming up within the next 3 minutes. So I guess you'll get to see how I set up a forecast. And I'm going to just go ahead and take advantage of the fact that I've got sweeping radar back. So let's see here. Go here. Go back to our radar view. And again, that's Michael Craddock's stream. He's in Salem Springs right now testing some things out. So we really appreciate Michael doing that for us. We're going to reset this data set. So take that out of the forecast. Basically, we're just going to take out anything that is not a sweeping radar. We're going to try to do that in the next 2.5 minutes. So you're seeing me do all this in real time right now, folks. This is the
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by WeatherRate.
All right, here's a look at our Huntsville Middle School WeatherBug Network camera to kick off this forecast. We've seen some very heavy rainfall in Northwest Arkansas, a tremendous amount of lightning, but some locations are starting to wind down when it comes to that flash flooding and severe weather risk. However, we do have some new information to give you right now from the National Weather Service. Here's a look at Michael Craddock's stream. This is one of our storm spotters. He's in Salem Springs experiencing some very heavy rain. But here's the newest details we can give you right now on Mega Doppler. We've got 2 new severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. I'm going to step off the screen here so we can take a look at what's going on here. We're going to zoom in on that new severe thunderstorm warning. And this severe thunderstorm warning that's clipping portions of Sebastian and Johnson counties, that actually has a tornado possible tag associated with it. And you can see that little area of rotation right there that's moving towards State Highway 217. So if you live along Highway 217 or the Charleston area, got to make sure you're watching that line very closely. We also have some strong winds associated with this line of storms near the Boonville area as well. So that's the most concerning part of this line right now along the Interstate 40 corridor, which is why we've got that severe thunderstorm warning, as I just mentioned, with that tornado possible tag attached to it. It's for 60 miles per hour winds as well. It goes until 6:30 a.m. again for Franklin and Sebastian counties. A little bit farther to the south and east, we've got another severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Logan and Scott counties. That one does not have a tornado possible tag associated with it, but that is for 60 miles per hour winds as well. A little bit farther to the north and west, several flash flood warnings to attend to. We got a flash flood warning with a considerable tag attached to it for Berry County. Also, a flash flood warning extending into McDonald County. That goes until 8 a.m. This flash flood warning will be allowed to expire pretty soon. That's for northern Delaware County. That goes until 6 a.m. A couple more flash flood warnings to attend to in northeast Oklahoma. One of those is for northern Adair and southern Delaware counties. That goes until 7:45. A little bit farther to the south, got that flash flood warning for until 8:15 a.m. for Adair County. And then one more flash flood warning in Benton and Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. And you can see the heaviest rainfall right now is just off to the south of Fayetteville and West Fork. But man, oh man, this line of storms has been packing a punch all night long. We saw hurricane force winds in northern Oklahoma. Obviously, several severe thunderstorm warnings south of Interstate 40 and a tremendous amount of rainfall that is training over the same areas. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 a.m. for most of our weather coverage area. We also have a flood watch in effect until 1 p.m. early this afternoon, though both of those are likely to expire a little bit earlier than what I just mentioned. So obviously the heaviest rain is moving through northwest Arkansas right now. That will taper off during the late morning and early afternoon hours. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, we also have that 90% chance for showers and storms with rain chances beginning to taper off after lunchtime today. You'll see that reflected here on Future Track. This model might be a little bit behind when it comes to the timing. You can still see some heavy rain along I-49 and Interstate 40 through about 8, 9 o'clock. After that point, most of the heavy stuff is going to be out of our area. There is the potential for some scattered showers in far northwestern Arkansas through about lunchtime before all that activity pushes out of NWA by the time we get to the late afternoon and early evening hours. But in terms of additional rainfall, 1 to 2 inches of rain going to be very common in northwest Arkansas. Some lighter totals possible in the River Valley, but there is going to be a string of heavier rainfall totals, especially towards Madison, Newton counties, maybe a little bit farther south and east towards Johnson County and around the Clarksville area. So just make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. Of course, download our free Weather Authority app. You can scan that QR code on your screen right now. You can also find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. High temperatures going to remain steady in the middle 80s as we go throughout the next few days. We've got a 100% chance of showers and storms, obviously, this morning. 60% chance of rain Tuesday, 80% chance of storms on Wednesday, and another 60% chance of rain on Thursday. As we head towards the weekend, we finally start to quiet down with this active weather pattern. Got that 30% chance for showers and storms. High temperatures going to be the upper 80s with overnight lows in the 70s. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, temperatures will be slightly warmer. We also have slightly higher rain chances going on Tuesday. We've got that 70% chance for showers and storms, 60% chance of rain on Wednesday. High temperatures warming up into the lower 90s by Thursday and Friday, with middle 90s possible on your Saturday and Sunday. That's a look at your full forecast for northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We'll wrap up this hour of news after this quick break. All right, folks, we're back. Just had a few mic issues there at the tail end of our last live stream update. So I'm going to get back to it right here. Welcome back into the studio. Again, there is a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag associated with the storm. that is located just now to the south and west of Boonville. So I'm going to show you that here on Mega Doppler. I'm going to pull that up right now. So here's a look at Howell Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler again. Couple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. This severe thunderstorm warning, that's a little bit farther to the south towards Logan and Scott County. That one does not have the tornado possible tag associated with it, but it's the one in Sebastian and Franklin counties that do have the tornado possible tag associated with it. And again, this storm kind of ebbing and flowing right now. There's just these small little areas of rotation that we have to watch very closely. Again, these little spin ups along the line that can sometimes cause issues. And there are some, maybe some little spin ups as well, even in the severe thunderstorm warning without the tornado possible tag associated with it. But it's this part of the line that has the best chance for that, what we call QLCS tornado potential, because it does have that line surge associated with it, which is probably why they went ahead and issued that tornado possible tag with that particular thunderstorm. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Okay. All right. A lot of things going on in my ear right now. All right. So that's the most concerning thunderstorm that we've got at this time. Again, if you live in Northwest Arkansas, there's a lot of flooding, a lot of flash flooding potential. We got a report here from Jamie. We are flooded more than I have ever seen in a place near Durham. It makes sense, Jamie. This is a big time storm when it comes to flooding potential right now. And that's why we're doing a live stream, right? Because not only do we have some concerning thunderstorms in the River Valley, and oh boy, we got to watch these very closely because there are some little nubs there that concern me just a little bit along that line. So we're not going to let our guard down, right? That's why I'm on right now. That's why we're live streaming this coverage just in case something does become dangerous or concerning. And if that does happen, we're going to interrupt this newscast and we're going to talk about it. And we're gonna keep you safe and we're gonna keep you posted. We're not gonna miss any of these storms right here. So just bear with me this morning. Again, I'm solo right now, behind the scenes. So I'm just kind of going back and forth, trying to make sure our show's updated, trying to make sure the people that are watching on TV are updated. We're also keeping you folks updated that are here on the live stream. We've got over 500 people on the live stream right now. I know some folks are going in and out because they see the newscast is on, but again, can't control that right now. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that you're staying weather aware. But we're about to be back on air. We got a quick little traffic report that I've got to do here real quick, and I'll also give a radar update as well. So stand by for that. All right, the time now is 5:57 a.m. on this Monday morning. Obviously, we're dealing with very heavy rainfall in Northwest Arkansas and in portions of the River Valley. The most significant flash flooding is still associated along I-49. The good news is that the heaviest rainfall is now moving south and east of Bentonville and Fayetteville, but still very heavy rainfall in the higher train areas of Northwest Arkansas. Also got a couple of concerning thunderstorms that are ongoing in the River Valley right now. This severe thunderstorm warning has a tornado possible tag associated with this. We've got what's called a line surge going on right now. You can see that line kind of surging off to the north and east. So that could prompt tornado potential at any time, folks. We've got to watch that right now near the Charleston area in southwestern Franklin County. That line is moving off to the north and east right now. There's that severe thunderstorm warning I was just talking about. Again, tornado possible with that storm in Franklin and Sebastian counties. Another severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Logan and Scott counties in our weather coverage area. That will be allowed to expire at 6:30 a.m. We'll have more weather, traffic, and news headlines coming up in your 6 o'clock hour-long show. For now, we'll see you after this quick break.
I guess that they were flying a little bit out there.
Yeah, a lot of hydroplaning potential. That is for sure. I really appreciate that, Carol. We're here for you, and we always put in 100% effort into these things. I can assure you of that. A lot of hours going into this, folks. We got to watch this storm again. This is going to be near the Charleston area. There might be another area of rotation that's going on right now along State Highway 217. I'm about to be back on air right now, and we're going to give an update. Now, here's the good news, folks. This storm is starting to move into far eastern portions of our coverage area, so it will be out within the next, I would say, hour or so, at least this most concerning thunderstorm. But there are some things about it that we've got to watch very closely. So stand by. We're about to be back on again. All right, we're about to be back on to talk more about what's going on with these storms. I know the wind's probably picking up in Fort Smith. I do not doubt that one bit, Jones Johnny, but here's the good news. The severe weather potential is east of your area now. So you don't have much to worry about when it comes to severe weather in Fort Smith. That should be east of your area now. All right, folks. We are about, I would say, 10 to 15 seconds out from returning to the newscast. So we're going to do that right now, and we'll have an update on there. Well, good morning. Welcome into this half hour of KNWA Today. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday despite the stormy vibes. We are watching the River Valley very closely for some severe thunderstorms that could be capable of producing tornadoes at any time. Again, we're just watching for these little areas of rotation, and there's one right now that is moving through southern Franklin County. That is the one that we have to watch the closest. That could prompt a brief spin up at any time. So if you live in Franklin County, I would go ahead and take those normal tornado precautions just in case this storm drops one as it races off to the north and east towards the Paris area. There's that severe thunderstorm warning I was just talking about. There's that tornado possible tag in Franklin and Sebastian counties. That goes until 6:30 a.m. Another severe thunderstorm warning that does not have a tornado possible tag associated with it, a little bit farther to the south in Logan and Scott counties, that also goes until 6:30 a.m., and that is for 60 miles per hour winds. Now, northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri, not dealing with severe weather, but dealing with significant flooding potential. We've got a flash flood warning with a considerable tag attached to it in Berry County. We also have a flash flood warning that extends towards McDonald counties. That goes until 8 a.m. Flash flood warning has expired in northern Delaware County. That's great news right there. That tells me that the heaviest rain is now moving out of Delaware County, but we still have a couple of flash flood warnings in southern Delaware County and northern Adair County. That goes until 7:45 a.m. Another one for central Adair County along Highway 59. That goes until 8:15 a.m. Then along I-49, we've seen significant rainfall in southern Benton and much of Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. And again, probably more flash flood warnings to be issued a little bit farther south and east in the higher train areas of northwest Arkansas. So obviously a very active morning, a highly electrified storm system that is pushing through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley as we speak. Reminder, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until about 11 a.m. this morning for pretty much the entire KNWA coverage area, though I think that's going to be dropped off in northwest Arkansas very soon. We also have a flood watch that's in effect, once again, for most of our coverage area. That will go until 1 p.m. this afternoon. And folks, we've got more rain chances coming up for the latter half of this week as well. This rain train not going anywhere. We'll show you the latest 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. But first, your news at 6 starts right now.
Proudly covering the Northwest Arkansas community. This is KNWA Today.
Well, rain chances are expected across our area this week, and now's a good time to make sure that you're ready for whatever the forecast may bring. Good morning. Welcome into KNWA Today at 6. I'm Jacqueline House.
And I'm Ashlyn Brothers. Yeah, you heard Josh say it. The rain train not going anywhere. Whether it's heavy rain, thunderstorms, or localized flooding, having a plan in place can make a big difference. We put together a severe weather guide for you, a severe safety guide.
Again, we've got the newscast going on right now, so I have to talk very low. But I also need to talk about what's going on in the River Valley right now because I'm still watching this storm very closely that's going on and kind of just straddling the line of Franklin and Logan counties right now. But this storm right here has a concerning look to it, right? It's got some rotation right now, and that's why I was just talking on the newscast. If you live, towards Franklin, northern Logan counties, I think I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions just in case, because these storms can ramp up at any time, and there are areas of rotation associated with it. We're seeing kind of a line surge right here, kind of a spike in the reflectivity, and there is some rotation that's associated with this thunderstorm right now. And normally we can see those storms kind of ramp up in real time, right? It takes a little while, but this storm right now is a little bit different, where it could drop one of those brief spin-up tornadoes pretty much at any time. And it happens very quickly, folks. So we just don't want to let our guard down when it comes to that. Now, let's go back here to storm relative velocity. You can see that area of rotation right there. Lines up with radar. It makes sense. You can see the kind of the line surge there too, kind of that hook associated with the storm. That's moving up towards the Calksville area. So, oh man, I see still got that area of rotation right there. So if you live near Colksville, I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions right now. State Highway 22, State Highway 23. That area of rotation is starting to ramp up right now. Let's make sure there's no correlation coefficient drop. I'm not seeing that right now. Again, correlation coefficient it just tells us, if you start seeing kind of a little hole in the radar there, that typically indicates that debris is getting lofted, and so that prompts your tornado warnings and your observed tornado warning tags. That's how we confirm tornadoes off of radar. So there's the area of rotation again, moving right along State Highway 23 at this time, right along State Highway 23. So we'll be watching this, folks. Not letting our guard down one bit on this storm. I'm going to zoom in here, plot a few roads for you real quick if you're concerned about the storm in Colksville, State Highway 23, as I just mentioned. Pine Street, those areas right there, that area of rotation is moving towards you. Let's see what this road is. Bach Road, a little bit farther to the south. 6.5 Mile Road, and then Core Road. Those areas right there. If you live in those areas, I'll be keeping an eye on the storm right now. Again, this line of storms really reminds me of Mansfield back in 2023, where it dropped a brief spin-up tornado, and it showed up on one radar scan and then it was done. But that ended up being a pretty strong tornado in Mansfield. And that was back in the summertime of 2023. I remember covering that on air. This kind of has a similar look to it. So that's why I'm live streaming right now to keep you guys posted on it. Okay, power outages being reported in Alma. Thank you so much for that report, Peyton. Huge strike of thunder here in Alma. So yeah, Peyton, that might have been it. And hey, we got a tornado warning, so we got to interrupt them. Tornado warning. Okay, we do have a tornado warning that's associated with the storm.
To you right now, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We got to talk about this because we just now got a tornado warning that's issued. We're doing live streaming coverage on Facebook as well as Twitter. And you're going to see that tornado warning populate on the screen in just a minute. It was just issued by the National Weather Service office. This area of rotation, again, has been concerning me all morning long. And this is what we're talking about when it comes to these storm systems, right? They can drop these brief spin-up tornadoes. I was already telling folks in northern Franklin County to take those tornado precautions. And it looks like if you live near the Colksville area, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. This is moving through northern Logan County. Again, this storm is moving off to the north and east right now at about 40 miles per hour. You can see that area of rotation right there. And guys, if we can turn that, yep, thank you so much. If we can turn that there, because I'm going to actually do all the storm coverage at the desk because we don't have anybody else behind the scenes right now. So just bear with me. But if you live near Colksville along Highway 23, I was just talking about this a few moments ago on our live streaming coverage on Facebook. But this is an area of rotation right now that does concern me quite a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at that normalized rotation. This just kind of tells us where the strongest rotation is associated with the storm. And again, it's right there near the Colksville area along Highway 23. I was plotting some roads earlier. We'll plot some more roads in just a few moments here. We just got a new radar scan. Again, it's pretty broad area of rotation. I will say that. However, when it comes to these QLCS type events, we typically see those areas tighten up very quickly. So we cannot let our guard down. And that's why you need to be in your tornado safe place right now if you live near the Colksville area. So let's go ahead and plot some roads here. There's State Highway 23. I was doing this behind the scenes as well. Pine Street, I was just talking about you folks on our live stream on Facebook. You got to be in your tornado safe place right now. That area of rotation is moving right on top of you. A little bit farther to the north and east, Bach Road. We were talking about that earlier. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now. A little bit farther north and east, I just was talking about Bach Road, and then Sheep Farm Road. Those areas right there, if you see your road on this map, or if you live near the Colksville area along Highway 23, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Let's see when that tornado warning expires. So that's going to go until 6:30 a.m. Looks like we just got a brand new tornado warning that was also issued. So here's what's going on right now, folks. We've got 2 tornado warnings that are in effect right now, and you may be wondering what's going on here. You've got a tornado warning that's issued by the Tulsa office. That goes until 6:30 a.m. And then this polygon extends into Johnson County. That also goes until 6:30 a.m. So it's the same area of rotation, but it's straddling that Franklin, Johnson, and Logan County line right now. The most significant part of the storm, though, is going to be in Clarksville, which is on the northern side of Logan County. So that is the area of rotation that we're watching very closely. We're going to make a storm track on this in just a minute here, but let's go ahead, and I'm going to go back here. Folks, behind the scenes, let's make sure we've got Weather 2 ready to rock and roll here. I want you guys to go ahead and do that for me. Let's go to Weather 2 right now and pull that up. So that way we have Mega Doppler. So there's Mega Doppler right there. I was just talking about Clarksville. If you live in that area, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. What I'm going to do behind the scenes here is I'm going to make a storm track for you guys. This is going at about 40 miles per hour off to the north and east, which is a very favorable track for tornado potential. So we're going to make sure we've got that track on the most dangerous part of the storm, which again is near the Clarksville area right now. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now if you live in those areas. Go ahead and bring me back up here on Weather 1 so we can get that storm track going. Again, the most dangerous part of the storm is going to be right here, right along State Highway 23, and that is moving off to the north and east. So we're going to move this to the north and east for the next 30 to 45 minutes towards Clarksville. Again, Clarksville, you are in the path of the storm. You do need to keep an eye on this, but it's not going to arrive until 6:45 a.m. And a lot of times with these storms, they can fall apart before they reach you. So Clarksville, keep an eye on this. Roseville, 6:18, Coal Hill, 6:28, Hartman, 6:32, and Clarksville Primary School at 6:42 a.m. So that's the locations that are in the path of the storm right now. We're going to go back to highly heating cool Mega Doppler. We're going to go and make sure this storm is not dropping any tornadoes on us. Again, what you're looking at here is a product that we call correlation coefficient. So a lot of times you're looking for those kind of what we call CC drops that tells us if debris is getting lofted into the air. And right now, I'm not seeing that, which is great news. But again, these quick spin up tornadoes sometimes don't even drop CCs, right? So it's going to be very difficult to determine if this is on the ground or not between scans because of just how tight that couplet is, right? And its location relative to the radar as well. But there's that area of rotation that has just now moved off to the north and east of Clarksville. So Clarksville, you're likely in the clear now as that storm is surging off to the north and east. But I was just talking about some of those roads a few moments ago, along State Highway 23, along Highway 288. Those locations right there need to be keeping a close eye on this storm. And one thing I'm also going to do behind the scenes as well, and you guys can take me off the screen right now so I can do this. But one thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on our iDrive Arkansas cameras. The storm is pretty far south of Interstate 40 right now, so it's not in the most favorable spot for us to get a visual of this storm, unfortunately. But if this storm continues to track off to the north and east, continues to move towards the Interstate 40 corridor, we will need to watch that very closely. So again, there's that area of rotation I was just talking about. Guys behind the scene, let's pull up Mega Doppler full here. You can take me off the screen so I can do some stuff behind the scenes here. There's the area of rotation I was just talking about. It was a little bit stronger just a few moments ago. I will say that. Now the strongest area of rotation is starting to lift a little bit farther into Franklin County now. Again, it's right on the border of Logan and Franklin counties. The strongest area of rotation was originally in Logan County, and now that is lifting into Johnson County right now. So I don't see anything there that tells me that a tornado is on the ground at this time. But I will say, again, with these brief spin-up tornadoes, they can drop at any moment, folks. So you got to make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. We're going to keep an eye on our iDrive Arkansas cameras as well. Producers behind the scenes, if you could do that for me, please, that would be much appreciated. Again, we don't have any other meteorologist right now. It's just me in studio right now. So if you guys behind the scenes can keep an eye on our iDrive Arkansas cameras along Interstate 40, you're going to be looking at a camera that's going to be just west of Clarksville. We'll see if those cameras are organized in a way where we can get a visual on this thunderstorm, because that's going to be our only way to see this. We don't have any WeatherBug Network cameras, unfortunately, near that particular location. I wish we did. We're going to get those set up soon. But again, if you live north and east of Clarksville right now, you need to be in your tornado safe places. That tornado warning will continue until about 6:30 a.m. Again, that's going to be in the Clarksville area. So Jackie and Ashlyn are doing some things behind the scenes right now. They're watching this storm very closely. Haven't gotten any reports of damage. I'm keeping a close eye on what we call NWS chat as well. NWS chat just kind of tells us if there's any damage being reported or if this tornado is on the ground. It does look like there is some reports of some thunderstorm wind damage that's going on right now near Mansfield. That's in Sebastian County. So that was associated with that thunderstorm, the same storm that's lifting off to the north and east right now. And again, that area of rotation might have gotten a little bit tighter with that new scan. I'm keeping an eye on that right there. Now that's moving towards Highway 288. So if you live along Highway 288, I'm going to plot that road right now. You need to be in your tornado safe place. Coal Hill, Altus, Hartman, you're in the tornado warning. The area of rotation is southwest of you, but you also need to be in your tornado safe place right now because that area of rotation is moving towards you. And if it maintains its strength, it could be lifting into those areas very soon. So again, this is on the far eastern fringes of our weather coverage area right now. Tornado warning continues until 6:30 a.m. We're going to pull that up again here on live Doppler radar so you can get a look at what those tornado warnings look like. Again, we got several severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings that are in effect, but our main focus is on this tornado warning. Again, the reason why that polygon looks so weird is because you've got two different forecast offices that are issuing these warnings right now. So this tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service office in Tulsa. That includes Franklin County. That goes until 6:30 a.m. The other polygon, right, that's for Johnson and Logan counties. That was issued by the National Weather Service office in Little Rock. That also goes until 6:30 a.m. and it's radar indicator rotation. So again, if you live along Highway 288, folks, you got to be taking this storm very seriously. We just did a storm track a few moments ago. We're going to go back to Mega Doppler here. We got producers behind the scene that are keeping an eye on our iDrive Arkansas cameras. If they see anything, they'll let me know. But again, this storm right now is a little bit broad with the rotation. Here's normalized rotation. You can still see maybe a stronger area of rotation right there near Carbon City Road. So that's the road right now that has the area of rotation on top of it. You already need to be in your tornado safe place there. A little bit farther to the north and east, Coontree Road as well. That's going to be south and east of the Denning area. You need to be watching this very closely. That is going to be moving towards your location very soon. Jenny Road as well near the Alix area. And here's another road right here, the High Road area. That you also need to be taking the storm very seriously. Again, the area of rotation that is strongest right now is just off to the north and east of Calksville. And you can still see it's persisting right now. It's very persistent. And so that's why we got to watch it because at any moment it could drop a brief spin up tornado. This is correlation coefficient again. And as you can see, nothing there that tells me that a tornado has dropped yet, but it could drop at any time. Ashlyn has let me know behind the scene. We do have some power outages to report real quick. Sebastian County reporting about 412 people without power there. And there's probably going to be more power outages as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours, unfortunately. So we're watching that very closely. But again, this storm is straddling the Franklin and Logan County lines right now, moving off to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. Again, if you live in Coal Hill, if you live near Hartman, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. This area of rotation is moving towards you. It is moving right towards the U.S. Highway 64 corridor, and it will be moving towards Interstate 40 very soon as well. So we might be able to get a visual of the storm. We may not be able to, but we can tell you that there is an area of rotation that does concern us right now, which is why we're doing this coverage here on KNWA today. All right, let's go back here. I want to take a look at our latest watches and warnings again, take kind of a wider view, kind of reset with what's going on. We're still keeping an eye on that tornado warning, which is the most concerning thunderstorm. There are other severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect as well. That includes southern Logan County as well as northern Scott County. That goes until 6:30 a.m. for 60 miles per hour winds. So if you live in Paris, right, I know Paris, some folks that live on the north side of Paris, if you have weather call NextGen, you might have gotten an alert for a tornado warning. I will say this, the tornadic part of the storm is well off to the north of you. So if you live in Paris, I wouldn't be too concerned about tornado potential. It's really going to be north and west of you right now, right along State Highway 309 at this time. And I'm going to go back to Mega Doppler so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Again, it's a broad area of rotation right now, but it's taking kind of that northeasterly track right now, which is much more favorable for tornado potential in this particular environment, right? We've got what we call shear vectors. We've got QLCS, tornado potential. That northeasterly storm track lines up very well with the shear vector that's currently in place in the river valley, which is why that storm is starting to rotate just a little bit more near the Altus area. Again, I'm doing all this stuff behind the scenes right now. Hope bear with us with this morning. No other meteorologist on staff right now. I'm the only one here, so I'm just kind of controlling these things behind the scenes and just showing you where exactly that area of rotation is. But again, this is now moving right along State Highway 309. We're going to go back here to normalized rotation. Still got a little bit of rotation associated with the storm right now. I'm going back and forth between our radar and NWS chat just to make sure there's no other updates. So Little Rock office is watching another area of rotation near the Mount Magazine area. This is what I was just talking about, folks. There's all these little different areas of rotation that can sneak up on you if you're not careful. So they were just talking about the Mount Magazine area. That's going to be east of our weather coverage area, thankfully. But again, some more areas of rotation that are going on right now near Magazine. That's going to be moving out of our coverage area very quickly. But if you live in southern Logan County, this is a very rural area. You need to be in your tornado safe place as well, just in case that storm starts to prompt tornado potential. But the most concerning storm, again, remains in place south and west of Coal Hill. Calksville, you're in the clear now. That area of rotation is just off to your north and east at this time. So not dealing with any significant severe weather there anymore. Gusty winds, lightning, still possible, but nothing too concerning on that front. We're watching radar still. Thankfully, we're getting some good updates there on radar. Still not seeing anything that's too concerning that's prompting imminent tornado potential. But again, folks, this can happen at any time with these storms. So we are going to be watching that very, very closely for you here as long as that tornado warning is in effect. Once that tornado warning is dropped off, we'll go back to KNWA today. We'll go back to regular programming. But right now, we still have that tornado warning that's in effect, which is why we are watching this very closely here on the newscast and on Facebook and X. Jackie, looks like you might have an update right now for us. I'm going to go ahead and send things over to you.
Just a couple of power outages that we want to let you guys know about that we are seeing right now. Again, we're about 378 in Sebastian County, Washington County at 110, Scott County 127, Crawford County 141, updated number for Sebastian County 412. So that's increased from when we just told you a couple minutes ago. And that number keeps increasing. Scott County increasing to 233, Sebastian County, an update again that's at 541, Crawford County at 226. So we are seeing some power outages coming in, Josh, and that number is increasing by the second. So we're just updating you guys, letting you know if you see any power outages in your area, please let us know. You can email us here in our newsroom, news@knwa.com. Also, if there's any damage near your area as well, you can email us pictures or photos, or just send us an email to let us know what you're seeing in the area where you are.
We're also eyeing just a couple of accidents. It appears that there are no injuries associated with these, but we do have one in Washington County on Interstate 49, Section 28. That is going to be mile marker 49.4. You can see it right there. There are quite a few emergency vehicles at this time. There's also another incident that we are eyeing, which is in Sebastian County. Okay. It appears there's not an incident or an injury rather associated with that one as well. Interstate 540, and it appears that is on the left shoulder at exit 6. So everyone be safe out there.
Absolutely. We do have guests that we had already pre-scheduled to come in studio with us from Rodeo of the Ozarks, and they said even their drive in this morning was slick out there. So to Josh's encouragement, you know, if you don't have to be anywhere this morning, maybe just wait it out a little bit. There is some ponding out there. There's a little bit of hydroplaning and some slick roads out there. So stay safe. And if you don't have to be out there right now, maybe delay your morning if you can to get to where you need to go today. Again, we'll keep you posted on those power outages. Again, those numbers keep increasing by the second.
Let's go ahead and send things over to Josh. He's signaling to us. He's got an update for us.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I really appreciate you guys giving us an update. Flash flooding, definitely a big concern in Northwest Arkansas right now, and that's going to be a big problem along the I-49 corridor as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. But still, the most dangerous storm is in the River Valley right now, in Franklin and Johnson counties. It's right along the border of both counties, folks. So that's why you've got kind of that weird polygon shape right there. The most concerning part of the storm is now moving just off to the south and east of Denning and south and west of Coal Hill. I was talking about Coal Hill just a few moments ago, folks. You better be in your tornado safe place right now. That storm is going to be racing in within the next 5 to 10 minutes right there along Highway 64. I was talking about Highway 64 just a few moments ago. You need to be in your tornado safe place. And it looks like we got a new tornado warning that has just been issued with the storm. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. It's probably going to be an extension of the one that we were just talking about. There it is right there. There's the new tornado warning. That is now north and west of the Altus area. So it does look like there's another area of rotation that's going on right now. You can see that near Ozark in Franklin County. That tornado warning goes until 7 a.m. So, folks, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is why we cannot let our guard down whatsoever on any of these storms. So I'm going to go back here to Mega Doppler. We're going to look at this new tornado warning that's in effect. And this makes sense. Again, as I was mentioning earlier, folks, when that line surges to the north and east like this, that's when you get your tornado potential in an environment like this. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the River Valley right now. Still a tremendous amount of instability, a tremendous amount of fuel available for those storms. And there's that new tornado warning I was just talking about near the Ozark area. Unfortunately, this storm may have dropped a tornado earlier, and it is dropping a tornado right now. So if you're in Ozark, you need to be in your safe place right now. There is a tornado that is on the ground in Ozark right now. That is going to be right along Highway 64, north and west of Altus. There is a tornado on the ground. I know it's not an observed tornado according to the National Weather Service. That is on the ground. What you're seeing right there in Ozark is the beginning stages of a tornado that was dropping just a few moments ago, and now it is on the ground. It is causing damage right along Highway 64. So Ozark, again, be in your tornado safe place right now. I cannot stress that enough. There's the observed tag right there. There's the observed tornado I was just talking about along Highway 64. Again, be in your tornado safe place right now in the Ozark area. I'm watching some of our iDrive Arkansas cameras as well very closely. One of the cameras I got pulled up is near Ozark along exit 37. We may be able to get a view of the storm along this camera. I hope we do, because it's right along Interstate 40 right now, just to the south and west of Interstate 40. Unfortunately, we can't control these cameras. We're not able to actually move them around. That's from the Arkansas Department of Transportation. But this is where the storm is. It's very close to this area right here. I was just talking about Highway 64. This camera is facing westbound. It's right on top of Ozark. So unfortunately, we may not be able to see the tornado on the ground as it's moving across the camera, but I'm going to be watching it very closely. So we're going to go back to Mega Doppler here. We're going to go back to plotting some roadways. Again, there is a tornado on the ground right now near Ozark and Webb City. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now. I was kind of looking at the track of that correlation coefficient. It was actually dragging a little bit farther to the south and east. So we'll plot some roads here. Ridgeway Road, right? If you live near there, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. There is a tornado on the ground near your location. Eagle Height, near the 3,499 block of Eagle Height. You need to be in your tornado safe place as well. Lock and Dam Road. There's the tornado moving off to the south and east there. It's still on the ground. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here and look at some of the roadways that we've got just off to the south and east of Ozark. Union Pacific Railroad. So if you live near the railroad, south and east of Webb City, you need to be in your tornado safe place. And Altus, I was talking about Altus just a few moments ago. You need to be in your tornado safe place as well. If that storm is taking that kind of southeast wobble, right, we might be seeing what's called a meso handoff. So that means that maybe the tornado is moving towards your location as well. If you live in Altus, you need to be in your tornado safe place. But this tornado is still on the ground right now, folks, near Ozark, near Webb City, moving towards the Altus area, right along Highway 64. I'm still keeping a close eye on that iDrive Arkansas camera just in case we're able to get a visual of that storm. Unfortunately, I don't think we will, just because it's completely shrouded in rain. This is going to be a rain-wrapped tornado. Let's go to normalized rotation here. There's that area of rotation I was just talking about. May have been a little bit stronger earlier. And look at that southeast wobble right there. That right there is definitely a strong tornado that's on the ground. So we got to watch that very closely there as it moves southeast towards Altus. Now, we're still keeping an eye on this area of rotation that's a little bit farther to the south as well. That is still in place near Altus along Highway 64, moving towards the Coal Hill area, but not as strong as that area of rotation that's in Ozark. Notice how you have that kind of CC drop right there near the Ozark area. I'm actually going to step on the wall here so I can point that out real quick. Again, this is where the tornado is going to be right here. It's already causing damage in these locations, which is why you're seeing what we call a correlation coefficient drop, and that is going to be moving just off to the south and east. We'll see if we can continue to see that as we go throughout the next 15 minutes or so. But again, this tornado warning has that kind of black outline around it. That means that it is an observed tornado. That means it is on the ground. It is still causing damage right now. We're going to get another scan within the next few moments here. I'm going to stay on the wall with this thing so we can tell you what's going on here. But again, if you're right along Highway 64, need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Altus, you need to be keeping a close eye on this. I know you're probably not quite in that observed tornado warning polygon, but based off the current track of this, it is moving towards your area. Still see that correlation coefficient drop. It's gotten a little bit smaller lately, so maybe the tornado is starting to weaken, but it's still on the ground, at least according to this newest radar scan. So got to watch that very closely near Altus. I'm going to step back off the wall here so we can move this along in time so you can see kind of how that evolved. Again, it touched down just off to the north and west of Ozark and has caused damage as it's moving off to the south and east towards the Altus area. The good news is that, you know, that area of rotation might be getting a little bit weaker, but then we've got another area of rotation I was talking about near the Coal Hill area that still could prompt tornado potential as well. So we're watching both of those areas very closely. One product I wanted to show you as well real quick is our tornado detector product. And you see that right there, that little white outline. That's where that tornado was causing damage. And you can see it moving right there near South Ozark, near the Webb City area. Starting to fall apart right now. That's great news on that front, but not going to let our guard down, folks. This is what we were talking about. These storms can drop tornadoes so quickly. You cannot take your eye off of them. We were talking about that in the Facebook Live just a few moments ago. I said take those tornado precautions right now, even though there's not a tornado warning in effect, because these storms can just prompt tornado potential out of nowhere. And that's why we were live streaming coverage all morning long, and that's why we're still on air right now covering this tornado warning, which, again, goes until 7 a.m. for the Ozark area. We're going to go back here, and we're going to keep an eye on our correlation coefficient. Now, you notice how that box has gotten a little bit shorter, right? So, obviously, the National Weather Service has outlined the area that has the most significant tornado potential. There is a new tornado warning that has been issued. So, this is going to be an extension of that same tornado warning that was near Coal Hill. That goes until 7 a.m. That includes Johnson and Logan counties. That's going to be along Interstate 40. That's going to be along U.S. Highway 64. Again, that's a radar indicator rotation. There's two areas of rotation that we're watching right now. And again, that's a much bigger outlined box, but that's also including the tornado that occurred near Ozark. Now, here's the good news, folks. I think the tornado may have lifted, at least for now, southeast of Ozark. You still need to be in your tornado safe place at this time if you live near Altus, because that area of rotation is moving right on top of you right now. But notice how this is kind of falling apart just a little bit here. That tells me that that tornado has lifted, no longer on the ground. But again, there can be a tornado at any time with the storm system of this magnitude. So got to make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. Here's a look at the new tornado warning I was just talking about. We're going to set the storm motion from warning on this new tornado warning. You can see that new area of rotation again near Coal Hill. We've also got that nub near the Altus area. That was where the previous tornado occurred. One thing I'm noticing with these storms right now is that we're seeing what's called storm mergers, right? So a lot of storms are colliding with each other. They're hitting each other at just the right angle in order to cause more of a localized spin in the atmosphere. And that's exactly what we're seeing with these storms. You have one line of storms that's kind of moving southeast. That prompted that confirmed tornado near Ozark. You've got another storm that's rotating, that's moving north and east. That's now moving towards Clarksville as well. So Clarksville, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. You are not in the tornado warning, but this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. It has a history of having areas of rotation. So if you live in Clarksville, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Coal Hill, you already need to be there. Hartman, you already need to be there as well along Highway 64. If you live anywhere along Highway 64 in portions of Johnson, Logan, Franklin counties, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Good news is, Paris, you're in the clear now. Ozark, you're in the clear now. The area of rotation has moved away from your current location. Keep an eye on NWS chat as well, just in case we've got any updates from them when it comes to this particular storm. We are getting some confirmed reports of damage in Franklin County, trees down, power outages at Highway 64. This happened before the warning came out, right? So this is why we were on air. This is why we're recovering this, right? Because this storm was already dropping a tornado before the warning was issued. LaFleur County has power lines down in Poto, Shady Point, also east of Heavener. So that's going to be in LaFleur County with those storms earlier. So starting to get these damage reports in right now, starting to get those confirmed reports of the tornado that occurred in Franklin County. And we're going to get more damage reports as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours as well. One thing I want to do real quick, it's very challenging to do this because we're in kind of a bit of a radar hole here. Or not radar hole, but these storms are moving in different directions. But I am going to attempt to make a storm track real quick to give you some of the latest details on what's going on with this particular storm. Again, there's that observed tornado warning that goes until 7 a.m. That observed tag probably going to be dropped very soon because there is no indication that it's still on the ground. But again, you need to be in your tornado safe place, even if it's not observed anymore, if you live in those locations. This storm is moving more kind of east-southeasterly. All right, so we're going to actually move this more east-southeasterly. And you can see that is going to be moving towards the Clarksville area within the next 20 to 30 minutes. So Clarksville, you're not in the tornado warning right now, but you still need to be in your tornado safe place because of these colliding thunderstorms that could prompt tornado potential at any time. I'm also going to make kind of a more of a linear storm track here because this is still a line of storms. It's moving off to the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So we're going to take the most dangerous part of the storm, which is right here. You'll see that populate in just a few moments. And we're going to move that to the east-northeast over the next 30 minutes. And again, Clarksville was just talking about you, 15 to 25 minutes. You've got about 15 to 25 minutes to get in your tornado safe place as that storm moves towards your area. You already need to be in your tornado safe place in Hartman. The area of rotation is moving right on top of you right now. Morrison Bluff at 6:41 a.m., Lamar at 6:52, Hillcrest at 6:56, and then the Ross area at 7:02 a.m., which is just off to the west or east of our weather coverage area. So those are locations that need to be taking the storm seriously right now. I'm going to go back here to Heil Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. It's going to populate in just a minute. There's a look at the tornado warnings. Again, the confirmed tag has been dropped. So I just mentioned how that was going to be dropped. That has been dropped from that storm near Altus. There's the confirmed tornado report, the tornado debris signature observed on radar about 10 to 20 minutes ago near the Ozark area. So that was a confirmed tornado. We'll be evaluating the damage on that over the next couple of days. Now we're watching these storms as they continue to move off to the north and east. We still have some areas of rotation near Coal Hill, near Hartman. This storm is moving right along Interstate 40 right now. I'm keeping an eye on our iDrive Arkansas cameras as well. Unfortunately, this is a rain-wrapped storm, so it's very hard to get a visual on things. We're also keeping an eye on iDrive Arkansas and making sure they point the cameras in the right location because, if they're pointing to the east, we're not going to be able to see this storm near Clarksville. But we're still going to keep an eye on this just in case it moves over Coal Hill. Again, it's already east of Coal Hill right now, but if it moves over this iDrive Arkansas camera near exit 47, we'll give you a visual on that in just a few moments. But very heavy rainfall still associated with this thunderstorm right now. Looking at storm relative velocity, the most concerning part of the storm is right to the east of Hartman right now, right here, right along Highway 64. I'm going to plot that road for you right now so you can see that. There's US Highway 64. If you live near County Road 100, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Shady Grove, you need to be in your tornado safe place as well. Sulphur Springs, Union City, Interstate 40 corridor. You need to be watching this very, very closely. You already need to be in your tornado safe place if you're within this polygon, but these are specific kind of roads that we're plotting here so you can get a general idea of what's going on. There's another county road that's plotted on the map there. You can see that storm now starting to move off to the north and east. There's State Road 109 as well, southwest of Shady Grove, and then Cypress Avenue as well. So those areas right there that I just mentioned, you're on the immediate path of this area of rotation. You need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. Still keeping an eye on that southeasterly advancing storm as well. Looks like it's kind of lost a little bit of steam, which is great because it's running into colder air, right? Because it's running into the same locations that already experienced thunderstorms, so it makes sense that it would be on the weakening trend. But that storm that's moving north and east still could prompt tornado potential as it moves through portions of Logan and now Johnson counties towards the Clarksville area. So we're watching that very closely. Scranton, you're probably watching right now, wondering what's going on. You guys are out of the tornado potential right now, but you're obviously going to be experiencing some strong winds, very heavy rainfall as well. Keep an eye on our correlation coefficient as well. This is how we were able to determine that there was a tornado on the ground just a few moments ago. Nothing there that's looking concerning. But again, these storms can prompt tornadoes at any time, and we're going to be watching that very, very closely. All right. Keep an eye on our NWS chat here, making sure we don't have any more updates from Tulsa or Little Rock. Not seeing any updates at this time. Watching the area of rotation near Lake Ouachita, so that's going to be south and east of our weather coverage area. That's not going to be here in northwest Arkansas or the River Valley. But again, there's other storms to watch that are south and east of this line of storms. One thing I want to mention real quick is that heavy rain continues in northwest Arkansas along I-49. Not as heavy as what we saw earlier, but still have those flash flood warnings that are in effect. So if you don't have to be out on the roadways, don't be out there, folks. We've already seen several car accidents. There probably will be more to come as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours. So just make sure you're staying weather aware on that front there. But again, the most concerning thunderstorms now moving right along Highway 64 near the Clarksville area. That tornado warning will go until 7 a.m. Going to give you a quick update on power outages as provided by Jackie and Ashlyn. Thank you so much for that. Washington County reporting 154 without power. Crawford County 317. Scott County 233. Sebastian County 541. And LaFleur County 843 power outages. So that's the latest updates on that. There's probably going to be several more power outages as we go throughout the rest of the morning hours, and we're going to get more reports of damage, unfortunately, with this thunderstorm as it continues to track along the Interstate 40 corridor. Again, we'll go back in time here so you can see what was going on. We were mentioning this. We were mentioning how these brief spin-up tornadoes can happen, and just like that, you snap your fingers, and all of a sudden they're on the ground. And there it is, right there near Clarksville. About 20 minutes ago, you could see that tornado as it moved off to the south and east very quickly. Just as quickly as it appeared, it disappeared, and then that tornado warning with the observed tag was gone. But we still have a tornado warning that's in effect near Coal Hill, just off to the south and west of Clarksville right now. Watching that storm very closely as it moves off to the north and east at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Looks like Washington County now up to 422 power outages. Thank you so much, Savannah, for that update. Still not getting any other updates from NWS chat that concern me too much right now with this storm. The area of rotation is pretty broad, maybe running into some cooler air right now, which is good. But still got those little areas of rotation that we have to watch very closely. And again, there could be some meso handoffs as well. So right here could be another area of rotation that is on the far eastern fringes of this tornado warning. This is going to be south of the Jamestown area. This is going to be near the Union Pacific Railroad. I was just talking about that a few moments ago. State Highway 109, big danger road. Big danger right there with that storm. You got to be watching that very closely if you live there just off to the south and west of Clarksville. There could be a new tornado warning that's issued there. We'll watch that very closely. I'm looking at our original area of rotation that we were watching near Hartman. It does look like it's a little bit more displaced. It looks like it's a little bit more disorganized, but it's probably because it's undergoing a meso handoff right now, right? So this area of rotation is starting to weaken, but this little line surge right here that's moving north and east is starting to strengthen. So this might be our new area of rotation that we have to watch. And I was just talking about Lamar a few moments ago along Interstate 40. I would keep an eye on this if you're in Lamar. I know you're not in a tornado warning right now, but there could be a new tornado warning that's issued very soon with this thunderstorm as it moves off to the north and east. Again, these storms just undergo these meso handoffs, right? They just keep ebbing and flowing, and this is why we're watching it very closely. Let's see here. A lot of folks in our chat right now and Facebook. So, again, some folks talking about Harrison, talking about what's going on in Northwest Arkansas. I can't stress this enough. If you live in Northwest Arkansas, there is no severe weather at this time. Severe weather not associated with the storm in Northwest Arkansas. However, in the River Valley, that is a completely different story right now with these storms that are moving through portions of Johnson County. So, see a lot of comments right here. I know a lot of folks are asking about specific towns. Really, our main focus right now, if you hear your town name, Clarksville, Lamar, Morrison Bluff, Jamestown, if you just heard your town or community called out, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. I'm not seeing anything right now with this storm that concerns me too much farther to the north and west. It's really this little pocket right here that I think needs to be warned pretty soon, because that right there lines up with what we call base reflectivity. And that tells me that we might have another area of rotation that is ongoing just off to the south and west of the Lamar area. So we'll see if a new tornado warning is issued. That's in the far eastern fringes of our weather coverage area. So that's going to be moving out of our coverage area within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So we'll watch that very closely. Jackie and Ashley, I'm going to go ahead and send things over to you with an update.
Yeah, just real quick, just keep you guys updated on power outages. There are still some, but really we're seeing Crawford County with 344 and as well as Sebastian County at 550. Those are the two counties that we're showing that have the most outages right now. Also, Josh mentioned being live on Facebook right now. We're also live on our Instagram as well. So just keeping you updated just throughout social media in case you are in an area maybe where there is some outages. So you can't necessarily turn on your TV, but maybe, you know, your phone is fully powered, and to keep you updated on what's happening. So again, we have you covered on our Facebook Live as well as our Instagram Live as well.
And we are keeping a close eye on iDrive Arkansas. Right now, it appears there are no reportable crashes. However, we are continuing to monitor that. And of course, it is a soggy start to your Monday. Make sure you guys are taking it safe and slow out there. There is a lot of pooling along the sides of the roads. So keep it safe. If you don't have to get out right now, do not. We'll go ahead and send things back over to Josh.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for staying on top of that and keeping us updated. Here's the good news. The tornado warning has been dropped, but we are going to stay on coverage. The reason why is because there is still an area of rotation that concerns me right now. We're not going to drop off this storm quite yet until it moves out of our coverage area. Once it moves out of our coverage area, we'll return to regularly scheduled programming. We'll return to the newscast. But as long as the storm is in our coverage area, we're going to remain on it just in case it drops a tornado. And right now, there still is an area of rotation that's associated with it near Lamar. So we're going to be watching that very closely. As a matter of fact, I have an iDrive Arkansas camera. Very dark right now near Lamar. My goodness, that storm is moving right on top of this camera right now. We'll see if we see any like wind direction changes. That camera is shaking right now. So obviously some very strong winds are moving over Lamar right now. So if you're in Lamar, as I just mentioned earlier, you already need to be in your tornado safe place. If you're not already, you need to do it right now, because at the very least, you're experiencing very strong winds, likely up to 60 miles per hour right now. Just making sure this storm doesn't prompt a tornado, because it could at any time. There is still that area of rotation that's going on right now, right on top of Lamar along Interstate 40. And that severe thunderstorm warning doesn't have a tornado possible tag associated with it, but it has a history of producing tornadoes, so we're still going to be watching it very closely. I'm not letting my guard down when it comes to this storm whatsoever. In fact, there might be some silo contamination going on right now with the radar, but there's obviously some very strong winds that are moving over Lamar as well. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We'll go back to that camera in just a few moments, because it's a really good view of what's going on, just blinding rain and wind going on. There's that area I was talking about right there near Lamar. Again, probably could be some side lobe contamination going on there. You notice how the normalized rotation is a lot stronger with this storm, but it does also line up with radar as well. So north and west of Lamar right now, need to be taking those tornado precautions. I know there's no tornado warning in effect, right? It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, not even a tornado possible tag associated, but we're not going to let our guard down on that one bit as it moves off to the north and east towards the Hagerville area. Going to go back to iDrive Arkansas. If there's anything on Mega Doppler that concerns me, we'll go back to that. But I think the visual is the best possible way we could view the storms. Certainly some horizontal rain curtains going on with that camera there. Horizontal rain curtains just means you've got rain that's being lofted into the sky because the winds are so strong. So it kind of gives you that look of like a horizontal curtain of rain. We've also got traffic that's flowing very slow there. You can see some hazards on right now. Probably don't want to be out on the roadways along Interstate 40 near Lamar or near Clarksville at this time with the storm that's moving through. This is a very dangerous storm. At the very least, it has very strong winds, tremendous amount of rain, flooding potential associated with it as well. That's a pretty stout supercell that's going on right now just off to the south and east of Clarksville. So we'll watch that very closely. Again, that's moving off to the east, northeast at about 40 miles per hour right now, at least according to the latest update from the National Weather Service. 60 miles per hour gust associated with the storm. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a confirmed report of that just looking at this camera right here. But again, if you live near Lamar, if you live near Clarksville, definitely experiencing some significant winds right now. I'm still looking at radar at this time, still looking at this area of rotation very closely, just in case it prompts additional tornado potential right now. Not seeing that quite yet. We've got severe thunderstorm watches that are being canceled, so we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Just don't want to let our guard down with this storm after it produced that tornado near Ozark. And we're going to go here and make sure, yeah, we do have some side lobe contamination going on with the storm. So that just means that you're getting some false readings, maybe some false areas of rotation. It is getting a little far away from the radar. We also have a lot of rain that's associated with the storm. So some side lobe contamination going on, but still a very stout area of strong winds that's stretching from Paris all the way up towards the Clarksville area right now. 60 miles per hour wind gusts still possible with this dangerous line of showers and storms. Going to show you the latest watches and warnings that are in effect. We're going to just take a wider view here so we can reset for just a minute. There's a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect until 11 a.m. this morning. It will likely be dropped off very soon for portions of Benton and Washington County. I think we're going to see that probably within the next 20 to 30 minutes, if not already. I know Crawford County has been removed from the tornado watch, severe thunderstorm watch. So we are going to see the severe thunderstorm watch be dropped off very, very soon for many counties along Interstate 49 and Interstate 40. So you'll see that populate on the screen in just a few moments. Another thing I want to look at here is I want to see how our instability is looking. Remember, instability is the fuel that's required for showers and storms to maintain their strength. If we look at that, you can see obviously in Northwest Arkansas, the instability has dropped off significantly. Still some instability though, still some of those yellow shaded colors along Interstate 40, which is why that supercell is so strong right now near the Clarksville and Lamar areas. And it looks like this storm has slowed down just a little bit too, which means that you're getting copious amounts of rain right along the Interstate 40 corridor, and that flooding potential is going to continue to increase in those particular locations. So that is something we're going to be watching very closely in those locations. let's see here. Keeping an eye on NWS chat. Rotation looks to be tightening up near Clarksville. They're watching that area very closely. Again, I've been watching that area all morning long, folks, and I'm not going to let my guard down. There could be, maybe a little bit of side lobe contamination going on, but at the same time, I think with these colliding lines of storms, you are going to see maybe some false readings, and makes it a little bit more difficult behind the scenes for us to get a picture on that storm there. But again, this is why we always say to take those tornado precautions very seriously. Looks like the most dangerous part of the storm is now out of the Lamar area, so that's good news on that front. If you live south and west of Hagerville, that's where the strongest winds are currently located. That's where the potential area of rotation is also located. If we take a wider view here, strong winds moving through Clarksville right now. Knoxville, you'll probably experience some strong winds very soon as those storms continue to move off to the east-northeast. But this storm is almost out of our weather coverage area, folks. It's got about 2 to 3 miles to go, though it is moving off to the north and east, so it may be in our coverage area for just a little bit longer. I know there's no tornado warning associated with the storm, but it has a history of producing unwarned tornadoes, so we're going to be watching it very closely as it continues to race off to the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour. We'll go ahead and make a new storm track on this, so I'll do that on Weather 2. Don't pull up Weather 2 quite yet. Production behind the scenes, I'll tell you when to do that. But let's go ahead. I'm going to go back here to live Doppler radar, and I'm going to pull up our live Doppler radar views so that way we can get a fresh storm track on this. Again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7:15 a.m. for Johnson and Logan counties. Most dangerous part of the storm right now is now east of Clarksville near the Hagerville area. This storm appears to be wobbling north and east now, so that's good. We have a good idea on which way it's moving. We'll put that at 40 miles per hour off to the north and east. It is going to be moving out of our coverage area very soon. I will say that, but we're still going to talk about it because we may have some folks that are watching on the far fringes of our coverage area as well. So let's go ahead and go to Weather 2. And there's a look at the new storm track there. So Holman, that is in our coverage area. That's at 6:51 a.m. So it's right on top of you right now if you live near Holman. Summerlin School, 6:58. Bullfrog Valley, 6:59. Treat at 7:09. Victor at 7:21. And Ben-Hur at 7:28, which is just outside of our coverage area as well. So this severe thunderstorm warning will expire within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. I'm going to go back to Mega Doppler here. Let's go back to Weather 1 after that storm track there. So there's a look at Mega Doppler. There's the strongest winds right now, just off to the north and east of Lamar along State Highway 315. And here's what we'll do. At 7 o'clock, I think that's when this storm is going to move out of our coverage area. So at 7 o'clock, production behind the scenes, we're going to go back to regularly scheduled programming on KNW Today. We'll have more information on Fox 24 News at 7 on what exactly is going on with this severe weather episode. We'll also go back to our normal newscast as well. We'll talk about that tornado that did touch down in Ozark and our weather report. But production behind the scenes, just a reminder, at 7 o'clock, we'll go back to regularly scheduled programming on KNWA, and we'll move our newscast to our sister station, Fox 24 News at 7, which, of course, you're probably watching on Fox as well. Some of you are when it comes to our severe weather coverage. But we'll be going back to our normal newscast within the next 8 minutes or so. But we're going to stay on the storm, and there it is right there. This is why I didn't take my eye off of it. There's a new tornado warning that was just now issued. It's going to probably be right there just east of Clarksville. That goes until 7:30 a.m., far eastern fringes of our coverage area. It is going to be moving out very soon. That's the good news on that front. But there's the new tornado warning that has just now been issued until 7:30 a.m. Looks like we got an iDrive Arkansas camera there. If you guys can let me know where that is, that's in Clarksville. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me know about that. So that's the iDrive Arkansas camera there. We're watching those strong winds that are moving right along Interstate 40. Unfortunately, the area of rotation is just off to the north and east of that iDrive Arkansas camera. But it's a good idea to still keep those up because you can still see the very strong winds that are associated with the storm. But let's go back here. I'm going to show you Mega Doppler. We'll look at that new tornado warning. There's the area of rotation I was just talking about near State Highway 315. If you live near Slover Creek Road, I'll plot that road right there for you. Slover Creek Road, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. There's Slover Creek. A little bit farther to the south and east of there. Looks like this is about to move out of our coverage area. So Slover Creek Road, that's really the location that needs to be keeping an eye on the storm. Looks like Diamond A Road, Ember Road as well. need to be in your tornado safe place right now with this storm as it moves off to the east. It is going to be pushing out of our weather coverage area very soon. Let's go here to normalized rotation. Oh boy, that is a strong area of rotation that's popping up there on the map. And it is taking that more kind of easterly track. So I was just talking about Lamar. We saw those strong winds on that iDrive Arkansas camera just a few moments ago. That may have been the storm kind of ramping up as it moved over Lamar. But now it's moving into a more rural area of eastern Johnson County, and it's about to move out of our coverage area very soon. But there's that area of rotation I was just talking about right there. Let's make sure there's no correlation coefficient drop. I'm not seeing that right now. But man, oh man, did that produce some really strong winds in Lamar. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some damage reports very soon there. And yeah, the storm has got about 5 or 10 more minutes in our coverage area, then it'll be out. We'll go back to regularly scheduled programming just because it's not in our coverage area anymore, but still not going to let our guard down on it. It looks like it has just now crossed the border of Johnson County, moving towards the Ross area now. Just now got that alert of that tornado warning that we were just talking about there. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for much of Johnson and northern Logan counties. That will go until 7:15 a.m. The tornado warning that you see on the screen right now, that goes until 7:30. But much of that tornado warning is going to be east of our area, by the time that we get to 7:30. So just wanted to stress that there for our folks that live in eastern Johnson County. That tornado warning is going to be chopped out very, very soon. So you're going to be out of the tornado warning very soon. But the area of rotation that we're watching is now moving just out of our coverage area. But just in case, we're going to stay on for 5 more minutes because we could have some folks that maybe pick up, some signal just east of Johnson County. So we're talking Pope County, right near the Dover area. I just want to make sure that we stay on this for a few more minutes, just in case the Little Rock TV stations aren't on it, which I'm sure they are. But again, this storm is now moving into a more rural area of Pope County near Ross. If you do get signal out in Ross, or if you do know folks that live in Ross, make sure they're taking those tornado precautions right now. Ross Mountain Road, that is directly in the path of this dangerous storm right now as it continues to race off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And it's still got that area of rotation right there. That is a pretty tight couplet. It had that couplet when it was south of Clarksville, moving over Lamar as well. But now that couplet has gotten a little bit tighter, so could be prompting tornado potential very soon, just like we saw in Ozark, which again, Ozark did see that confirmed tornado just a few moments ago. And that was a tornado debris signature. I just want to show that real quick because we're running out of time here on KNWA. So I just want to show you how that tornado kind of evolved near Ozark. You're going to see right there, that correlation coefficient drop. That was that tornado that spun up near Ozark, near Webb City, near the Altus area, and then lifted right before it got into downtown Altus. So that was the most concerning storm. Now the most concerning storm, which is the same one, is pushing out of our area as we speak. So not expecting any more tornado potential, at least in our coverage area, but we're still going to be covering these storms on Fox 24 News at 7. We're going to have our regularly scheduled newscast on there as well. One quick look, real quick, just to reset before we're done with this newscast. I want to give you a reset, give you the latest details real quick on what's going on in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley when it comes to the heavy rain threat. Remember, we still have a flash flood warning that remains in effect for Benton and Washington counties until 8 a.m. Still have a considerable flash flood warning in effect for Berry County that goes until 8 a.m. A couple more flash flood warnings in the higher train areas of Northwest Arkansas. We've got one that goes until 9:15 a.m. for Madison County, and another flash flood warning that is in effect for Johnson and Newton counties until 9:45 a.m. But again, thank you guys so much for trusting your Weather Authority team. Again, we'll continue our newscast on our sister station, Fox 24 News at 7 o'clock, and live stream on Facebook and X. Have a safe and great rest of your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 5. Up here. All right, folks. So the most concerning storm is moving out of our coverage area. I know you still see tornado warning that's in effect for Johnson County. That's going to be dropped off very soon. The area of rotation is moving out of our coverage area, so that's why we dropped off of our TV coverage. But, I was talking about it, right? This is why I was telling you to take those tornado precautions before we even had tornado warnings in effect, because the storm just had a look. We've done a lot of research on this. We've done a lot of studies. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, talk about that Ozark storm until it was actually, producing damage and producing a tornado. But, that's why we say to stay weather aware and to keep a close eye on these things. There's that severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for Johnson, Logan counties until 7:15 a.m. We're about to transition to our 7 o'clock newscast very soon. So we're going to be talking about this on the 7 a.m. newscast. So let's go here and let's see. Less than a minute out until we're on Fox 24 News at 7. So again, if you're just now tuning in, bear with me. We're going to be going back and forth between the newscast and this live stream. But man, oh man, what a busy morning, folks, to say the least. We expected it to be. We expected it to be a busy morning, and I'm not surprised whatsoever that we saw storm prompt tornado potential there in the River Valley. Just colliding boundaries, colliding thunderstorms. They always cause problems. They always cause situations like this. So again, we'll be watching this very closely. We're about to do our Fox 24 News at 7 o'clock newscast. So stand by for that, folks. Well, good morning. Welcome into Fox 24 News at 7 o'clock. Weather is the top story this morning. We did see a confirmed tornado near the Ozark area about 30 minutes ago, right along the U.S. Highway 64 corridor. We had some colliding thunderstorms, some of those cell mergers we always talk about that did prompt that tornado potential there. We do have a tornado warning that's east of our coverage area now, so we're not going to be doing wall-to-wall severe weather coverage because the most dangerous storm is now moving into the Little Rock market. But it has been a very busy morning in the River Valley as expected. Now, here's a look at live Doppler radar. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to control the radar with my iPad to show you some of the latest details because we just have so many warnings that are in effect. So still got that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Johnson and Logan counties in our coverage area. That will go until 7:15 a.m. That's for 60 miles per hour winds. Again, the tornado warning is not in our coverage area. I can't stress that enough. But if you got folks that live in Pope County, north of Russellville, make sure they're in their tornado safe place right now. That tornado warning, again, east of our coverage area goes until 7:30 a.m. A lot of flash flooding in northwest Arkansas. Do not want to ignore this. We got a flash flood warning in effect for Madison County until 9:15 a.m. Another flash flood warning towards Newton and Johnson counties. That goes until 9:45 a.m. Yet again, another flash flood warning right along Interstate 49 in Benton and Washington counties. That goes until 8 a.m. Still seeing some moderate rainfall along I-49, so got to make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. A couple of flash flood warnings for Northeast Oklahoma as well. We got one in Central Delaware County that goes until 8:15 a.m. Adair County, Central Adair County, that goes until 8:15 a.m. Southern Delaware County and Northern Adair County under another flash flood warning. That goes until 7:45. And then the most concerning flash flood warning is this blue shaded outline right here. That's that flash flood warning with the considerable tag attached to it. That goes until 8 a.m. That includes Berry County. Also that flash flood warning that extends into McDonald County until 8 a.m. We'll show you some of the latest future track details come up in your full Fox 24 forecast in about 10 minutes. But first, your news at 7 starts right now.
From your home for the FIFA World Cup 2026, taking you further. This is Fox 24 News at 7.
All right, folks. I'm back because, just want to make sure everybody's okay and staying weather aware. The good news is, folks, is that a lot of the most significant severe storms are moving out of our area. So the high-end severe weather potential, that is starting to move out of the River Valley, but the flash flooding potential does continue. So we're going to stay on this live stream until at least 8 a.m. I'm going to give you some of the updates on that front, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on. Just making sure we don't have any updates here from anybody. So I don't see any updates or anything. That's good. I really think the severe weather potential is dropping off for our area at the very least, but still got some strong winds associated with the storm right now. So let me pull that up for you here on Mega Doppler. Here's a look at Mega Doppler. You can see we still got some strong winds that are moving through southern Johnson County right now, right along Interstate 40. The tornado warning is east of our coverage area, which is why we're not covering that right now. But if you got friends or family that live near Dover, make sure they're staying weather aware. The good news is it does look like the rotation is starting to drop off quite a bit. That's good. It was a lot stronger when it was in our coverage area. Now it's starting to drop off. So maybe it's starting to die off. But there's that confirmed tornado. Just now had time to talk about this. But Again, there was that confirmed tornado right around 621 near Ozark in Franklin County, right along US Highway 64. Man, oh man, it just tells you how quickly these things can ramp up, folks. You cannot let your guard down whatsoever with these storms. And again, you just had these multiple areas of rotation. You had an area of rotation there. You had this storm that was wobbling south and east. Just colliding storms, some storm mergers going on there as well. And it took a very favorable track for that tornado potential. So, yeah, that's why we're here for you, folks. That's why we were doing the live stream all morning long. I had some comments asking why we were doing a live stream, even though the storms weren't doing a whole lot at that point. This is why we were doing it right here. And this is why we're here for you. So really appreciate you guys trusting our team. I'm just going to go ahead and remove all these things in my show. Remember, I'm also doing a show right now, right? So we're still in the middle of a newscast. I've been going back and forth between that. So I'm having to make my show behind the scenes. So I'm still trying to talk. I'm still trying to give you all the best information. What I can tell you right now is that the overall severe weather potential is starting to die down for our area. Now, flash flooding has become the greatest concern. Folks asking about Russellville. Right now, you're okay. The area of rotation is north of you. And I know Little Rock is probably covering this storm as well. But Russellville, you're in the clear when it comes to tornado potential. As a matter of fact, the tornado warning has been dropped off. I was just talking about how that was weakening. So you're good to go there. Now, Clarksville, you're fine. Clarksville, yeah, you're getting some strong winds, but you've already experienced the strongest storms, right? I've already mentioned that. Clarksville, you're in the clear. You're fine. Yes, there could be some gusty winds. There could be some heavy rain, lightning, stuff like that. But you're in the clear when it comes to severe weather and tornado potential. It's over in Clarksville. So nothing to worry about on that front there. So hopefully that gives you guys the latest. Again, dealing with a lot this morning. Just a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We had some technical difficulties as well. For some reason, my watches and warnings weren't working properly. And yeah, just a mess. Just a mess. All right. I'm going to do a auto query on this. Again, I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes right now. There's that severe thunderstorm watch. I'll make sure we get the flood watch included here. And I'm keeping an eye on comments, folks. It's going east. It's going east. It's east of you now. Going east. There's nothing to worry about anymore in Clarksville. So again, Clarksville in the clear, pretty much our entire coverage area is clear of severe weather and tornado potential. So great news on that front. Now flash flooding is going to be the main concern. And I know a lot of rain's picking up in some locations, and we're watching that. Rain picking up again in Mulberry. The rain will kind of ebb and flow throughout the rest of the morning hours. But nothing severe, nothing too crazy, I don't think anymore. Yeah, I appreciate that, Sean. Really appreciate that. And yes, Savannah, really appreciate you as well. Thank you guys so much for the kind words. Holding down the fort here, doing it solo style. So we're here for you. Yeah, absolutely agree with that, Elijah. Absolutely agree with that. I'm very happy that's the case. Let's see here. Just looking at some past comments. I know some folks were talking about that tornado earlier, and we were all over that. So, all right, about to be back on air again. So I got to do a little, my goodness, there's so many things to do. Doing some iDrive Arkansas camera updates here. Refresh this page. All right, about to be back on air. Nothing strong going on right now, folks. I think we're just about done with severe weather potential. Cannot stress that enough. All right, about to be back on air. Hold on.
Crash with hazardous materials, giving UAMS MASH students and Next Gen volunteers a chance to observe and participate in emergency response operations. Hospital officials say there's no threat to the public safety.
All right, let's check in with meteorologist Josh Rugger. Josh, you have had quite the busy morning. We want to send our appreciation to you, Josh, because you have kept a lot of our viewers safe this morning, telling them several times when they needed to take their safe place. So we appreciate all your hard work. And you are solo today in studio, Josh. So thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you guys for the updates as well. It really helped me out when it came to power outage and damage and flash flooding reports, which is still a thing we're concerned about this morning. So we'll watch it very closely on the interstates and highways. We have already seen several accidents along Interstate 49 and portions of the River Valley. Again, the strongest storms are out of our area, but that heavy rain threat will continue over the next 2 to 3 hours or so. So got to make sure you're taking it nice and easy on the roadways. If you don't have to travel this morning, just avoid it until later on this afternoon when the weather conditions get a little bit better. No other accidents to report on any major interstates or highways at this time, and we'll continue to keep tabs on that courtesy of iDrive Arkansas. We'll have a look at that Picture Nation report coming up after this quick break.
From your home for the FIFA World Cup 2026, you're watching Fox 24 News at 7 a.m. with Jacqueline House, Ashlyn Brothers, and meteorologist Josh Rugger. Closed captioning is brought to you by Ozark Mountain Roofing. Integrity first, protecting what matters most.
We're back. Thankfully, we got a Picture Nation report coming up soon, so I get a little time to breathe, which is very much welcome. Going to be doing a lot of iPad stuff when it comes to this forecast because, I mean, there's just so many flash flood warnings in effect right now. I just don't have time to go back and forth between, all these graphics here. So, and again, folks, here's the deal. We've got more thunderstorms coming up for the rest of this week. They probably won't be as significant or as strong as what we're seeing this morning, but still, flash flooding is a concern. Some of those storms could be strong to severe as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that for you as we go throughout the rest of this week. So really appreciate you guys trusting our coverage, trusting our team, and tuning in this morning. I know I'm kind of just going back and forth here, doing things solo style this morning, keeping you posted, keeping you safe. And again, I know a lot of folks might be concerned about everything that's going on right now. But I can't stress this enough. The overall severe weather potential is pretty much dying down now. Let's go back to Mega Doppler here real quick. Show you the latest watches and warnings. Obviously, a lot of flash flood warnings that are in effect. But there's only one really severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for our area now. I mean, this one that you see here is going to expire in 3 minutes, and this one is just clipping southeastern Johnson County. And that really doesn't include our area. So we're pretty much done with severe weather, at least in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Now, Little Rock, that's going to be a different story. There is going to be the potential for more severe weather in those locations. So got to make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. If you live in the Little Rock market, Central Arkansas, stuff like that. If you got some folks that live out there, just make sure they got a heads up that they got some pretty gnarly storms that are moving their way. And, I think the reason why those storms, too, took such a weird track is because we are dealing with an MCV. Remember, a few weeks ago on that Saturday, right, we had several tornadoes that occurred that were unwarned, right? That was associated with an MCV, a mesoscale convective vortex, and you can get some significant severe weather potential. It creates an extra spin in the atmosphere, gives you those favorable storm motions for tornado potential when you normally wouldn't have that. So a lot of factors at play here, and that's why we had that tornado potential that was prompted along the Interstate 40 corridor, and that's why I was saying take those tornado precautions even without the warnings, because these storms can just ramp up at any time, folks. I mean, they really can. It is insane how quickly these storms ramp up. So glad we do a lot of training. That's all I got to say. We do a lot of training when it comes to stuff like this, and I'm glad it's paying off for us. But keeping an eye on NWS chat. Here's some good news. I'm looking at iDrive Arkansas. There's no reports of accidents right now. So round of applause for everybody in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley for driving safe. Hopefully that continues this morning. Again, if you don't need to be on the roadways, don't be on the roadways unless you're heading to work. Take it nice and easy with that flooding potential. Got some folks, beautiful morning here near Jasper on the Little Buffalo River. Nice rain. Yeah, I mean, up in Jasper, out in Newton County, just plain old regular rain, maybe some occasional flashes of lightning, but not anything, significant when it comes to severe weather, which is great news on that front. Just making sure we're in the Picture Nation. Really appreciate that, Pam. Really appreciate the kind words. A lot of kind words from folks this morning. Really appreciate that. Can you pinpoint the Ozark tornado? I sure can. So Here's a look at Mega Doppler again. We're going to go back in time here. We're going to get rid of storm relative velocity. We're going to show you the correlation coefficient. We're going to go back in time. So what you're going to see here, and again, this was before it was tornado warned. It was already dropping a tornado just off to the north and west of Ozark. This was at 6:21 a.m., 2 miles northwest of Ozark. There's the tornado that is on the ground. It's lifting up debris. It's lofting it. There's a tornado warning. Probably should have had an observed tag already attached to it, but they did do that as it moved south and east of Ozark. Still on the ground at 6:25, and then it started to lift as it moved towards Altus. So it was probably on the ground for about 7 to 10 minutes. So again, I mean, these things just ramp up so quickly. It wasn't even warned. The area that had the warning was farther south. And, I don't think that produced a tornado. It definitely produced a lot of rotation and strong winds, but it was this storm right here that ended up being the problem as it moved south and east. Yeah, I just can't even imagine that. I mean, at least it came through in the morning, right? I mean, if we had the instability that we had yesterday during the day, oh my goodness, we'd be dealing with so much significant severe weather area wide. But for Northwest Arkansas, kind of the saving grace was actually all the rain that did fall, because that sapped the instability pretty quickly and kept Northwest Arkansas from seeing more significant severe weather. So great news on that front there. So hopefully that gave you an ideal area on what was going on with that tornado. I'm actually going to show this in my forecast here, I think, just because, we want to give people a visual on what went down. So I'm going to have that pause there. Go back here to Max 1. There's iDrive Arkansas cams. Again, I'm going to probably use the iPad in order to do a lot of this forecast here, just because, there's so many warnings that are in effect right now. And I just don't, managing the live stream and, managing the newscasts and stuff like that, going back and forth. I think it's just easier to do it that way. I wish we had a camera in Clarksville. Or in Ozark. We'd been able to see that storm, but you can't put cameras everywhere. It's hard to do that. So we did what we could with getting a visual of the storm. We did get to see a good visual of the kind of the RFD surge near Lamar as that storm, prompted another tornado warning. But just didn't get a visual of it, unfortunately. That's why you got radar, though. Radar helps you confirm those things. Graduate Hotel. Let's see here. Kisser FM, and we'll also show our Rogers benchmark camera because it's just such a nice camera and I love it. Don't like to play favorites, but this Rogers benchmark camera that I'm about to show you guys here, this is one of my favorites right there. I love that camera. Showed us a big time lightning show all morning long too. So shout out to the benchmark group camera. All right, we're 1 minute out from our newscast. Man, this is really loud. Man, they are loud in my ear. Woo, boy, they are loud in my ear. Big time boom going on there outside. Why is this so loud? Okay. Jeez. Eardrum's getting busted out. All right. So we're about to get back to the newscast here. We'll do our latest weather report on that front. So you'll be able to get the newest details. Again, no severe weather in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley at this point. But a loud start to the morning. That is for certain. So good morning to Andrew. It has been a busy morning, to say the least, my friend. It has been a busy morning. All right, folks, we are about to get on air here. Stand by for your newest forecast.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by weather rate.
It has been a very soggy and very loud start to your morning across Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Still got some light to moderate rain being reported over our Graduate Hotel WeatherBug Network camera. Here's a look at our Kisser FM tower camera as well. You can see some of that rain that's moving across the Ouachita Mountains. And of course, one look at that benchmark group camera near Rogers. This gave us quite the lightning show this morning. I don't like to play favorites, but This is one of my favorite cameras right here, folks. Now, here's the good news. The severe weather potential is done. However, I got to talk about this storm that impacted Ozark at around 6:21 this morning. Now, this is not a current radar image. I can't stress that enough. What I'm going to take you through here is a bit of a radar loop. And what you see on the right-hand side of your screen is called correlation coefficient. This just basically tells us if debris is being lofted. And what you'll see here as we move along in time, what you're going to see near Ozark is what we call a correlation coefficient drop. So that little dot right there near the Webb City, South Ozark area, that is where we had a confirmed tornado that caused damage as it moved along Highway 64. Thankfully, it lifted within about 7 to 10 minutes before it hit Altus, but that was a confirmed tornado that did impact portions of the U.S. Highway 64 corridor right around 6:21 a.m. And now our attention turns towards this heavy rain and flash flooding threat, which is starting to wind down in many locations. Down the River Valley, we don't have a whole lot of flash flood warnings. That's because a lot of these storms didn't train over the same areas. We still technically have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the far eastern fringes of Johnson County until 8 a.m., but that's going to be cut off within the next few moments. Again, that just tells you that the severe weather potential has dropped off. We'll move up to this flash flood warning. This includes Johnson and Newton County, just off to the west of Jasper and Limestone. That goes until 9:45 a.m. Another flash flood warning in effect for Madison County. That goes until 9:15 a.m. That includes Japton and St. Paul. A little bit farther to the north and west, the I-49 corridor still under a flash flood warning between Bentonville, Springdale, and Fayetteville, as well as Palm Springs. That goes until 8 a.m. For northeast Oklahoma, we've got a flash flood warning in effect for Adair County along Highway 59. That goes until 8:15. Another flash flood warning in northern Adair and southern Delaware counties. That includes the Colquitt areas. That goes until 7:45 a.m., so that will expire pretty soon. And then a considerable flash flood warning in effect towards Berry County. That goes until 8 a.m. And yet again, another flash flood warning a little bit farther east towards Pineville and McDonald counties. That goes until 8 a.m. So a lot of things going on right now, obviously, in the weather world. This was a gnarly line of showers and storms, the most significant severe weather, obviously, along and south of Interstate 40. Earlier this morning out in northern Oklahoma, get this, folks, there was a 110-mile-per-hour damaging wind report. That is hurricane force winds that were reported there in northern Oklahoma. Still have a severe thunderstorm watch for far eastern portions of our weather coverage area. That will expire at 11 a.m. We also have a flood watch that remains in effect for pretty much the entire weather coverage area. That will go until 1 p.m. and likely expire a little bit earlier as most of those showers and storms start to push off to our east within the next couple of hours. But obviously, rain chances elevated right now. That will slowly taper off in northwest Arkansas within the next couple of hours. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, I can't rule out maybe a scattered shower or two during the early to mid-afternoon hours, but keep an eye on the sky for Tuesday morning. There is an underrated chance for showers and storms, especially if you live along the Interstate 40 corridor. Unfortunately, don't have a whole lot of time to talk about that right now because we're kind of recapping the event that's currently going on. But as you can see, this cluster of showers and storms is going to start dissipating right around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Some scattered showers maybe hanging around along I-49 and Interstate 40 through about lunchtime. This afternoon, high temperatures will likely top out in the 70s and 80s with a small chance for scattered showers, especially in the higher train areas of northwest Arkansas. In terms of additional rainfall, about an inch in most spots, maybe some locally higher amounts towards Newton County in the Jasper area, but we've already received about 3 to 4 inches of rain in many locations. And again, there is the potential for a little bit more as we go throughout the rest of your Monday. And folks, we've still got that active weather pattern that will continue for the rest of this week. Make sure you download our free Weather Authority app by scanning that QR code on your screen. You can also find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. High temperatures going to remain steady in the lower 80s through at least Wednesday. We got that 60% chance of rain on Tuesday, 80% chance of showers and storms Wednesday, 60% chance of rain on Thursday. And then those rain chances start to die down as we move towards the weekend. We finally get a bit of a quiet weather pattern by Sunday with highs in the upper 80s and overnight lows in the 70s. So going to be a little bit steamy out there, especially in the River Valley. Check out these high temperatures going to be in the middle to upper 80s through Wednesday, 70% chance of rain Tuesday, 60% chance of storms Wednesday, 40% chance of rain on Thursday, with highs cranking all the way up into the middle 90s by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. But Ashlyn, I've had enough with this weather pattern. I need some good news. I need some good vibes with some good guests. I'm going to send things over to you with that wonderful.
I was going to say, I think you've been on a buck and bronco all morning with this weather. My goodness. Well, saddle up, bust out them boots. I'm sorry I didn't wear mine this morning. I apologize. And get ready to say yeehaw. Rodeo of the Ozarks rides back into town this week, and here with a rundown, we've got my good friends. We've got Joe Rollins. We've got Dale Daniels. Thank you guys for being here and holding down with us this morning. It's been kind of a wild ride.
It has. Well, thank you for having us.
Of course. Okay, so.
You know, Sean, you make a good point. Thankfully, I was recording on that camera, but I don't think it gave us a view, unfortunately. And it was also pretty far away from the area of rotation. But man, these rain-wrapped events, they just stink. They just stink, man. It's so hard to see these things. I wish we could get a visual on them, but it's just sometimes impossible when you got the rain-wrapped events. But yeah, folks, what a morning. What a morning it has been. There's a damaging wind report right there near Clarksville, tree down near somebody's house in Lamar. So that was when that RFD surge was going on. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that dropped a brief tornado, to be honest with you. We saw the area of rotation. It was pretty strong. There was no correlation coefficient drop, but man, was it producing some strong winds there near the Lamar area. Some folks just now tuning in. If you missed it, we had a tornado that occurred in Ozark. Maybe another one near Lamar as well. Keeping an eye here on social media, just making sure we're not getting any more reports from folks. Whew, what a morning it has been. And I feel like I am all of a sudden running on fumes, and I am. There's been a lot going on, obviously. And we've been covering it for you and keeping you safe. And really appreciate everybody trusting our team. So let's see here. Just making sure we don't have any more reports or anything that we need to talk about here. Doesn't look like it. Again, the only confirmed tornado that I've seen in our area is the one near Ozark, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe another report somewhere. So, Baja Blast, ASAP. I need it. I need it. I probably will get a Baja Blast, honestly. What happened to breakfast at Taco Bell here on MLK? There's no more breakfast at the MLK Drive Taco Bell, and I'm a little upset about that. I had that crunch wrap, that breakfast crunch wrap, folks. It'll change your life. Trust me. It'll change your life. I had some folks that were like saying, oh, I don't believe you on that front. I had it, and I was like, whoo, I've been missing out on life. Get you some of that nacho cheese in there. You are set, folks. You are set. Just trust me on that front. They put a hash brown in the middle of they put the hash brown inside the crunch wrap in order to like keep it structure. And I mean, it's just exquisite. Absolutely fantastic. All right, we don't need to show storm relative velocity anymore because, I mean, there's no more severe weather. So that's good. But flash flooding is still a concern. Let's look at some rainfall totals, shall we? That's one thing I probably could have done on air. I'll do that in the next forecast. But let's look at some of the rainfall totals that are being depicted here. I'm going to move my face out of here. Y'all don't want to see my face. Y'all want to see this. And wow, look at all the rain. I mean, this has been a historic June, folks. I mean, we're getting close to maybe setting some records for rainfall totals in the month of June, and this is going to certainly boost that even more. Now, obviously, the most significant flooding associated with the storm is in southwest Missouri. That's where the training thunderstorms really took hold. No, I don't want that. Just give me the rainfall totals, man. All right, there you go. Lord, have mercy on my soul. All right, average accumulation over 4 inches east of Pineville. So, and that's in a short amount of time too. You know, that all happened within the last, 5 to 6 hours. So obviously we've seen some pretty significant rainfall rates. Had quite a bit of rain near the Bella Vista area, about 2.5 inches on average there. Let's see, near Fayetteville, about 2.5 inches as well. So yeah, we've seen some pretty good flooding in those locations there, pretty significant. Not as much in the River Valley. Obviously, the heaviest rainfall has been along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. But in the River Valley, still dealing with, quite a bit of rainfall, about 1 inch on average. As expected, the rain wasn't as significant in the River Valley because it was a more quick-moving line of storms, but about 1/2 inch to 1 inch along and south of Interstate 40 with, I would say, 2 to 3 inches on average in northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri, with some locally higher amounts up to 4 to 5 inches. So pretty big time rain Pretty big time rain event, as expected. We called that, last week. We knew that was going to be the case. And man, that did pan out. That is for sure. All righty. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Not seeing any other updates. That's good. Let's check NWS chat here. Oh, wait. Let's check NWS chat, see if we got any more reports of damage. Yeah, Clarksville's good to go. You're all in good shape. Everybody's in good shape. There's no more severe weather. No more severe weather to worry about. Cannot stress that enough. So we're in good shape, folks. We're in good shape. All clear. Delayed damage report. That's going to be in Oklahoma. Tree blocking road at Highway 252. That was a fun ride in Lamar. I bet. I bet it was. I wish I was out there storm chasing right now. I want to feel that system. So we got about a 3-minute block that's about to happen here behind me. We still got the newscast that's going on, obviously, so I'm going back and forth between that. And then we'll have another weather update coming up in about 3 minutes on air. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Let me see how long that weather report's going to be. So about a 2-minute weather forecast coming up here. It's crazy how this morning's just flown by. At least it feels like it has. What a way to start off the work week, though, especially if you live in Ozark and Clarksville areas, Lamar areas. Hopefully everybody's doing okay in those spots. I know, obviously, we had a tornado this morning. We were on it, and we're here for you. If you do have any reports of damage, if you live in those areas, let me know. We'll add that to our group chat here. But it looks like there was a report of a tree blocking Highway 252. It's going to be close to the Sebastian County, Franklin County line. So that was right when that storm was ramping up. Right when that storm was ramping up. We had a feeling it was going to do that. We had a feeling. But it's just crazy how quickly these things can happen and evolve. So, really appreciate that, guys. Thank you for the kind words. Really, really appreciate that. That's why I do this job. So, really, really appreciate that. Means a lot. All right. We got about 2 minutes until we are on. And what I'll do is, crud. I don't have the right thing for this, but I can fix that. Okay. All right. Just doing some things behind the scenes here. We got about minute 30 until we're back on air. Again, I'm going back and forth. If you're just out tuning in, I'm going back and forth between the newscast, making graphics, keep an eye on radar, keep an eye on comments. A lot of management going on this morning. So really appreciate everybody's patience. Whew. Just need to get that Baja Blast delivered to the station for you. I know. And a breakfast crunch wrap. Again, Taco Bell, MLK Drive. Let's bring back the breakfast menu. All that adrenaline is so early in the morning, so don't forget to breathe. Yeah, you're right about that, Sean. Actually, when that tornado warning was first issued, I was breathing a little hard because I was running into the production room telling them that we had a tornado warning. So that'll give me a good laugh looking back at that. All right. 30 seconds until we are back on air. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go back to the newscast and we'll give you an update there.
The point is not for this to be a family legacy institution.
Generations now don't need a place like Milton Hershey School because their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents graduated from Milton Hershey School.
Milton and Catherine Hershey founded the school with a $60 million gift. The endowment today is $22 billion. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, I'm Seth Kaplan.
Well, real quick, we want to give you guys a quick power outage update this morning. Our producer Savannah is sending those right now to us. Franklin County 472, Johnson County 263, Crawford County 373 without power, Sebastian County 579, Scott County 286. Now Sebastian County 579, and we'll continue to monitor that throughout the morning. Let's go ahead and send things over to Josh Schruger with an update.
Yeah, really appreciate those updates, guys. That's really big for our viewers. I know in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley to get an update on that front. Hopefully power can be restored very quickly in those spots. Still got tremendous amount of heavy rain that's ongoing over Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. The good news is that the severe weather potential is well off to the east of the area, but flash flooding remains a pretty big time concern. This is a look at the total precipitation over the last 24 hours. Obviously, a lot of this rain has only fallen over the last 5 to 6 hours, especially in southwest Missouri. Look at this, folks. We've had copious amounts of rain near Pineville and Cassville. That's why we got that flash flood warning with the considerable tag attached to it in those locations there in Berry McDonald County. We received about 4 to 5 inches of rain in those spots there in southwest Missouri. Northern Benton County near Bella Vista also experiencing some of those training thunderstorms, so about 2 to 3 inches being reported there. Also had quite a bit of rainfall in Washington County near West Fork along Highway 62. We were talking about that on our live stream on Facebook and X. Quite a bit of rain there east of West Fork, about 3 to 4 inches of rain. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, rainfall totals have been a little bit lower. That's because we haven't seen those training thunderstorms, right? Northwest Arkansas has experienced more heavy rain compared to the River Valley, but still about a half inch to an inch of rain in a very short amount of time from Fort Smith all the way to Clarksville, as well as a little bit farther south towards the Booneville area. Here's a quick look at radar. We'll take you through those flash flood warnings real quick. Again, we got a flash flood warning in effect for Johnson and Newton counties. That goes until 9:45 a.m. Another flash flood warning for Madison County until 9:15. This flash flood warning in Benton and Washington County will be allowed to expire within the next 25 minutes. Also got a couple of flash flood warnings in northeast Oklahoma, one of those in central Adair County until 8:15. Another one in northern Adair County and southwestern Delaware County until 8:15. And then, of course, that considerable flash flood warning that's in effect for Berry County until 8 o'clock. That's a look at your forecast for Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We'll have more news headlines coming up after this quick break. Hello again. All right. Don't have another thing until traffic. Hold on one second. They're doing a promotional thing.
Tomorrow morning on Fox 24, also in the Ozarks is in full bloom, and they're joining us live in studio with a preview of the 26th season plus of Spirit of America series. And we go back to Washington for the latest on correspondent. We're also tracking stories that matter most here at home, along with your weather, traffic, for the community calendar.
So LCT, I see that you have a new report on 479WX. You got a report of an ambulance nearby. I don't see that photo pulling up yet on 479WX, but sometimes it can take a little while for that to pull up. But thank you for the report. Really appreciate that. So it looks like there might be some flooding or something that's going on there in Benton County if they're, our first responders nearby. So we'll get more reports on that soon. But thank you for that report near the Bentonville area. Let's see here. Lots of flashes being reported by Kendall earlier. Fortunately, it looks like the video may not be pulling up there either. But really appreciate these reports, guys. I know Denton sent in something here. They got some lightning in Fayetteville. So much lightning, you could smell the ionization outside. That cracked me up this morning. Little weather geek stuff for you there. Didn't get any reports in the River Valley on 479WX, but, again, a lot of folks were taking shelter as well. So that's a good thing. Really glad people took those warnings seriously. There's a lot of folks in the comments saying that they, went to shelter as soon as we talked about it on the live stream before the tornado warning was even issued. So that's good. That's what we want to see right there. My Yeti cup giving me some trouble this morning. Not let me drink my water. Keep an eye on the comments here as well, just in case anybody's got some new reports. Also keeping an eye on, NWS chat for any damage reports as well. Does look like, obviously, storms are starting to move into the Little Rock market. As expected, there are several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect towards Little Rock and east of the Hot Springs area as well. Even a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Little Rock. Looks like maybe a stronger cell moving through Pulaski County. So watching that very closely there. Rainfall totals starting to come in as well. Some official rainfall totals. There's a report near Hollister, Missouri, 2.88 inches. So that's going to be near the Branson area. Several trees were down in the Ozark area. So Tanner, thank you for that report. That really helps me out. So that makes sense, right? There was a tornado in Ozark, so likely tornado damage there being reported from Tanner. If you could send those into 479wx.com, that would be great. That'd be great. I'd love to see those reports, folks. And I'll actually share my screen here real quick so you can see that. Because this is pretty awesome, guys. This is pretty awesome. So we'll share screen. Share. Hopefully that's pulled up for y'all. Wait. Oh, what am I doing? I just want this to be full screen. There we go. Okay. 479wx.com, folks. Game changer. Sign up for this, folks. You'll be able to make live reports. We'll get to see those reports on the maps. We'll get to see that on Mega Doppler. We'll be able to show those photos in real time, photos, videos. And it's just a great resource for us here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley to get those reports in, up to the minute. So 479wx.com. If you got any pictures of damage in Ozark, if you've got any pictures of damage or flooding near your house, go to 479wx.com, folks. Make an account, sign up, send in those photos and videos, send in those reports. Really, really would appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys being our eyes and ears out in the field for us. So let's look at that. Again, getting back to what we got going on here. Looks like we got a traffic report coming up within the next 30 to 45 seconds. So we'll pull up some iDrive Arkansas cameras here. There we go. Get that pulled up. Let's see if we got any accidents. Ooh. A lot of accidents on the side roads, looks like.
Health alert for you this morning, a warning for anyone spending time outdoors this summer. Health experts are raising awareness about alpha-gal syndrome, a tick-borne allergy that can cause people to develop reactions to red meat. The condition has gained attention after Food Network's Darlene Drummond shared her son-in-law was recently diagnosed.
Looks like there is an accident there. It's going to be in the southbound lane of I-49. Hydroplaning incident for sure. Got to make sure we're taking it nice and easy this morning, folks. Nice and easy. And we'll give an update on that. Just a few moments on air here. All right, about to be back on air.
A good reminder to check in with the men in your life and encourage them to stay up to date on doctors' visits and health screenings. Medical professionals say it's important to move past the stigma of asking for help and remember that healthcare providers are there to support patients. Now, for those struggling to find affordable care, social workers may be able to help connect you with those resources.
Well, Jackie, this may be one of the only times you hear me say I'm glad that I drove to work at 2 a.m. this morning because I missed all of that crazy rain. But of course, we've got some on the roadways now. We've seen a lot of pooling as well. Josh, an update for us?
Yeah, it looks like we do have an accident to report along Interstate 540. We have seen several accidents on the side roads here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, which is no surprise because those are definitely ponding at this time with the significant amount of rain that we've seen. But there is an accident to report in the southbound lane of Interstate 540. This is going to be near the Arkansas River Bridge. It was a one-vehicle accident, likely involved some hydroplaning. So, folks, if you are traveling this morning, go about 15 to 20 miles per hour below the speed limit just to make sure you give yourself plenty of extra time to get to work. I haven't seen a whole lot of traffic itself along I-49 this morning, but obviously it is rush hour, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Very heavy rain continues over portions of the I-49 and Interstate 40 corridors, and we'll continue to keep you posted on the latest traffic information as we go throughout the rest of the show. We'll have more Fox 24 News at 7 coming up after this quick break. All righty. So we got one more weather report coming up later in the show. We're almost to 8 a.m. We're going to end this live stream at 8 a.m. We're over 3 hours into this live stream. There's a reason why I said we're going to keep it on, even though severe weather wasn't happening at the time. Definitely glad we stayed on, because we did have that tornado that occurred in Ozark, and maybe even multiple tornadoes as well. We'll certainly keep an eye on those updates and see how that evolved this morning. But man, oh man, what a busy morning here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, especially the River Valley. Northwest Arkansas, obviously some flash flooding and things like that, but just a lot going on across our area. I really appreciate you guys trusting the team as well. Appreciate you guys that have stayed on the live stream. Again, if you got any more questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I will say there's nothing really to be concerned about anymore when it comes to severe weather. That threat has ended about 20 to 30 minutes ago. Still a lot of flooding potential, obviously, right now, and especially in Northwest Arkansas, but overall, we're starting to wind down right around the time we expect it to wind down. So great stuff on that front. Great stuff. Still keeping an eye on NWS chat for any more reports of damage. Yeah, not seeing any new updates right now. But again, folks, if you got any updates, just let me know in the comments. We'll break those down and we'll talk about that. Flooding potential really going to be the main concern, along with obviously ponding on the roadways. Looks like they're going to extend the flash flood warning an hour across southern Delaware and northern Adair counties. Yeah, still got that rain that's in place in those locations, even though it's lighter, right? Still could be dealing with some flooding concerns in those locations. There's a look at Howell Heating Coy Mega Doppler again. All the severe thunderstorm warnings are well to the east of our area now, but flash flood warnings galore. There's the flash flood warning that I was just talking about. That's going to be extended here in southern Delaware and northern Adair counties as that rain continues to fall. Look at this. You can actually see that kind of spin there. That's that MCV. That's that mesoscale convective vortex. And that gives you your tornado potential. That is what we saw in Ozark earlier this morning. So we knew it was going to be a long morning, folks. We knew it was going to be a long morning. So they're still doing our newscast right now, obviously. So keeping our voices down for Jackie and Ashlyn. Get that camera up there. And again, folks, if you're just now waking up, no more severe weather potential. I can't stress that enough. The only reason we're still on right now is we're just going to finish this out with the newscast, right? We'll give you one more, weather forecast on the newscast. That way you guys can watch that if you haven't already. But flash flooding really is the main concern at this point, and that threat will start to wind down within the next hour or two as a lot of that rain starts to move out of our area. Most of the flooding is occurring along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. It is interesting how that evolved. A lot of the flooding was in Northwest Arkansas. Meanwhile, a lot of the significant severe weather potential was along and south of Interstate 40. We mentioned that at the top of this live stream, that was going to be the case. And, the models, to their credit, did a pretty good job with the evolution of the system. I will say that. Maybe a little bit, too late with the arrival of the storms, but still, it showed more significant severe weather potential along and south of Interstate 40. It looks like the flash flood warning is also going to be extended in Benton and Washington County. So just wanted to note that real quick. Just got that update from NWS chat and just got that alert as well. Looks like that's now going to go until 9 a.m. So that was going to expire at 8. Now it's going to expire at 9 a.m. So if you live in Benton and Washington County, it's just a heads up on that front there with the flash flood warning. Yeah, not seeing anything else really. We'll keep you posted on any new updates over the next 13 minutes. There's the flash flood warning I was just talking about that's been extended. Still got that considerable flash flood warning in the middle of Berry County. I think that will probably be dropped off pretty soon. They may extend it, but I think they're going to drop that one just because most of the rain's moved out. But there's some scattered shower development going on the backside of the system here. So again, that's why we kept that 30 to 40% chance of rain in the forecast, just in case these scattered showers develop. They're not going to be significant in terms of severe weather, but could give us some additional rainfall. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Behind the scenes here, I'm just taking out a couple of graphics that I don't need anymore. I don't think I need to show rainfall totals. I do want to give an update, though, in this newscast on what's going to happen for the rest of this week. Obviously, we've got more weather coming up, right? More chances for showers and storms. Maybe not quite as significant as what we saw this morning, but still, I would be pretty concerned about Wednesday for flash flooding potential. So we'll give an update on that during the newscast. So stay tuned on that front. But I mean, we just got round after round of showers and storms coming up over the next several days, folks. So. Yeah, Wednesday is going to be rough, folks, when it comes to shower and storm potential. And I really think Northwest Arkansas is going to be under the gun Wednesday for that flooding potential. It's definitely concerning me right now. But here's the good news, folks, and you'll see this in the forecast coming up in just a few moments. I think this weekend's going to be really nice, especially Sunday. Saturday, there could be some isolated thunderstorms, but Sunday will be drier, and then the early part of next week looks pretty quiet as well. So it looks like this active weather pattern is finally winding down, and we got enough rain. The flooding, the drought, that all that is a thing of the past at this point here in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley. That's long gone. So we deserve a nice quiet pattern now. We've caught up on our rainfall totals. Again, potentially a historic June when it comes to rainfall totals, especially after Wednesday. If Wednesday pans out the way I think it's going to pan out, we could be talking about historic June in terms of rainfall totals in and around Fayetteville. So what goes up must come down, right? We had a very quiet May. June has been the exact opposite. And it's funny how the weather just always seems to balance itself out like that. It always finds a way to balance itself out no matter what's going on, especially in this part of the country. So all that nice weather we got to enjoy in May coming back to bite us now here in June. But hopefully July is July. It's quiet, hot and humid. I know a lot of folks like hot and humid weather. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's everything that you could ask for. All right. We're about 45.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by weather rate.
Well, the gloomy vibes continue over our benchmark group, WeatherBug Network camera in Rogers. You can see that very heavy rain that continues to fall along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. Obviously, we've seen significant flash flooding potential area-wide. Thankfully, the severe weather risk is starting to drop off, so that is absolutely fantastic news on that front. But still expecting that heavy rain threat to persist at least for the next hour or so. Here's a look at High Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. Obviously, we've got most of the rain that's starting to move out of the River Valley right now, the heaviest rainfall along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. We received copious amounts of rain in southwest Missouri. You can see that here on the precipitation map. Notice in Pineville and Cassville, how those locations have received about 3 to 4 inches of rain. A little bit farther to the north in northern Benton County, about 2.5 inches in and around Bella Vista area. Also some flooding to report in southeastern Washington County near Fayetteville and West Fork. We received about 3 to 4 inches of rain and some flooding as well in northeast Oklahoma towards Delaware and Adair counties. A little bit farther to the south in the River Valley, you may notice that the rainfall has been less significant, about a half inch to an inch in most spots, and that's just because those storms were a little bit quicker moving along and south of the Interstate 40 corridor. But now our attention is starting to turn towards what's going on right now. And obviously, we've got lighter rain that's being reported along Interstate 40. You're already starting to see it move out of LaFleur and Scott counties. Some moderate rainfall to report along Interstate 40, but let's get through all these flash flood warnings that are in effect. We've got a couple for Johnson and Newton counties. That goes until 9:45 a.m. Another flash flood warning in effect towards Madison County. That's going to expire at 9:15 a.m. Flash flood warning along the I-49 corridor that's been extended in Benton and Washington counties. That will now be allowed to expire at 9 a.m. Got this flash flood warning that goes until 9:15. That includes the central part of Adair County, and then another one in southern Delaware and northern Adair counties. That one's been extended until 8:45 a.m. And then one more flash flood warning to report that goes until 8 a.m. in Berry and McDonald counties. And as you can see, we've got the considerable flash flood warning just off to the south and east of Cassville and Chain of Lakes. That will go until 8 a.m. as well. So that flash flood warning will be allowed to expire very, very soon. But man, oh man, this line of thunderstorms produced very heavy rain in northwest Arkansas, severe weather in the River Valley. Starting to wind down, though, as it progresses off to the south and east. Believe it or not, folks, we saw a damaging wind report in northern Oklahoma of 110 miles per hour associated with this line of storms. So obviously it packed a punch, caused widespread impacts, still have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect for far eastern portions of our coverage area until 11 a.m. That will be allowed to expire very soon. Also have a flood watch in effect along the I-49 corridor. That goes until 1 p.m. this afternoon, and that will likely expire within the next few hours or so, just because most of the heavy stuff is already pushing east of I-49 and Interstate 40. But let's get right to the latest 24-hour forecast timeline. Again, elevated rain chances for right now. Those should be tapering off by the afternoon hours. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, those rain chances are slightly higher at this time, but much like northwest Arkansas, that will taper off during the late afternoon and early evening hours, with maybe some more rain chances coming up for early Tuesday morning. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. Here's a look at future track again. Scattered showers and storms continuing through about 10 o'clock this morning. Most of the activity will be out of the area by then. Can't rule out maybe some isolated shower development this afternoon in far northwestern Arkansas, but actually not a bad afternoon in terms of temperatures. Highs will be in the lower to middle 80s area wide, with again, maybe some rain chances coming up overnight tonight to early tomorrow morning in the River Valley. The main event is actually going to be Tuesday afternoon with elevated rain chances on Wednesday and Thursday. Notice, though, as we head towards Friday and Saturday, that starts to taper off just a little bit. Keep an eye on Wednesday, though. Wednesday might be the main time frame for significant flash flooding potential, especially along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. Round after round of showers and storms possible. We'll keep the rain train going on Thursday and Friday, but the coverage is going to become a little bit less widespread. And I think by the second half of the weekend on Sunday, we won't see a whole lot of shower and storm development over our area. So that's good news. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but with the busy weather this week, got to make sure you have that Weather Authority app downloaded. You can scan that QR code on your screen right now. You can also find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. High temperatures remaining steady in the middle 80s in northwest Arkansas over the next few days. 60% chance of rain Tuesday, 80% chance of storms on Wednesday. And then those rain chances start to drop off as we head towards the weekend. Highs will be in the upper 80s in northwest Arkansas by Sunday, with overnight lows in the lower to middle 70s. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, high temperatures will be a little bit warmer, generally in the lower 90s by the time we get to Thursday into Friday. 70% chance of rain Tuesday, 60% chance of storms on Wednesday, with highs in the middle 90s by the time we get to next Sunday. That's a look at your full 7-day Fox 20 forecast for northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We'll wrap up this hour of news after this quick break. Oh, mic's back on. Yeah, you know, we've been on this live stream for about 3.5 hours now, so obviously no surprise that we've got technology issues at this point. So appreciate you guys bearing with me on that front. Got one more traffic report coming up here on Fox 24, and then we are done. We're going to wrap up this live stream as well. I am just about tapped out at this point. 3.5 hours with tornado reports and everything in between. So really appreciate you guys trusting us with your forecast. I was muted a little bit just for a brief period of time there before, but I think you guys could hear the newscast, so I appreciate that. All right, stand by. One more segment coming up on Fox 24. You'll see a black screen for just a few moments here. We back up and we'll give you that traffic report real quick. All right, guys, so the severe weather risk is done. That's great, right? We're not going to be dealing with any more severe weather potential, but still have that threat for flash flooding. It's ongoing over portions of northwest Arkansas. Still have several flash flood warnings in effect. So if you don't have to be out on the roadways, don't be. Okay. Until all these showers and storms move out, just give it some time for that water to reside, and then this afternoon should be A-okay.
And that flooding can be dangerous.
It can. It's the most dangerous natural disaster that we have here in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, be safe out there.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, folks. That's it. We're done. We're wrapping it up. Again, flash flood warnings remain in effect for portions of northwest Arkansas. We talked about that extensively this morning. No more severe weather anticipated at all. That's great. You don't have to deal with that anymore. But again, take it nice and easy on the roadways. If you don't have to be out on the roadways, don't be out on the roadways. And I think this cluster of storms should be out of our area within the next couple of hours or so. But obviously more rain chances coming up for the rest of this week. I can show you that real quick here on Future Track, just in case you didn't see that on the newscast. This system right now is lagging big time. So obviously even our computers are done with this. But Wednesday's the day to watch the closest, right? There will be the potential for some overnight showers and storms in the River Valley tonight. Kind of an underrated threat for storms that the models won't pick up on. Tuesday afternoon, got some scattered showers and storms possible. Wednesday, though, that's going to be the main time frame for widespread heavy rain, maybe even a low-end chance for severe weather as well. But concerned about flash flooding on Wednesday, concerned about some more scattered thunderstorms on Thursday and Friday, especially in northwest Arkansas. But notice how that coverage is becoming a little bit less widespread. And I think by Saturday night and Sunday, we'll actually be in good shape. The early part of next week looking good, albeit a little bit hot and humid. That is going to be the biggest concern, folks. The hot and humid vibes are going to return, especially in the River Valley. Very steamy, very hot. So just make sure you're staying weather aware on that front. Here's a look at the 5-day forecast. Again, 60% chance of rain Tuesday, 80% chance of storms Wednesday, 60% chance of rain on Thursday. Temperatures remaining steady in the middle to upper 80s this weekend. Very hot and humid on Sunday with overnight lows in the middle 70s. So definitely got to make sure you are drinking plenty of water, packing the sunscreen, getting that ready to rock and roll on that front. Meanwhile, in the River Valley, high temperatures, and I'll move myself out of the way here so you can see that, will be in the middle to upper 80s today through Wednesday, lower 90s Thursday, Friday. Slightly higher rain chances in the River Valley Tuesday, slightly lower rain chances on Wednesday, still sitting at 60 to 70%. 30% chance for isolated storm development as we go throughout the weekend, with high temperatures topping out in the middle 90s by next Sunday and overnight lows in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. So, whew boy, is it about to get toasty, folks. And that's all I've got. Really appreciate you guys again tuning in. Really appreciate you guys trusting our team. Again, a lot of the research and training that we do paid off today, I feel like. And I really appreciate your patience as well. I was navigating the newscast, navigating severe weather, navigating radar, navigating your comments, navigating everything, right? And so I really appreciate you guys just being patient with me today and trusting me with your severe weather coverage. But for now, folks, that's all I've got for today. Have a safe and great rest of your Monday. God bless. And we will see you the next time severe weather strikes. Have a good one, folks.